mistakes and my judgments. I'll build you up in my head. This is my prayer for your production. You're not my aunt, uncle, or cousin, not your nephew, but your husband. You think just cause you buzzing, you got license, but you doesn't. I hugged you like a glowworm. Come down now cause it's your turn. I ain't got nothing but time. I like that long haul to that slow burn. I did too much of my homework, killed my confidence with this research. I put people on pedestals, ego's reaction is knee jerk. I'm trying to work on my weakness. It's not all roses and peaches, it's no secret. I found myself in a funk for a whole weekend over email failures and DMs. Did they get that shit? Should I resend? What should I do when I see them talk all soft and passive like Cleveland? Even wise men can go mindless, voluntarily rocking them blinders. It generates all the shyness, calling some other human your highness. They forgot about when they punch clocks with Capri Suns in their lunchbox. Bad haircut with them sunspots. Drank fruit punch and wore dumb socks. Yeah. Get out my father, not my food. Get out my water, not your hurt. Get out my lava. What the fuck is my problem? It's a prayer for the American religion. Get out my food, get out my Java, not my nurse. Get out my doctor, not my priest. Get out my llama. What the fuck is my problem? It's a prayer for the American religion. It's not worth my attention, let alone all of these mentions. This first time is a warning, the next move is suspension. Got my own lapses in thinking, my processes are stinking. You're not Gandhi, you're not Yoda, you're not President Lincoln. Give a fuck if you was Oprah, Wolf Blitzer, or Al Roker. If you try to put yourself over, I'll laugh at you like the Joker. This hellfire is my culture, put magic all in these cold words. I'm you is the slogan, put it up mirrors instead of these posters. Watch me smash all of these idols. Got my own heavyweight title. There's no upper tier. We're all peers unless y'all wanna be rivals. Talent's just a foundation wrapped in festivals and in basements. If I ever lost my head, I got good friends to replace it. Gives a fuck if you're on TV, you still poop and you still BP. You sat down and got started, not knowing it wasn't no DP. You got up then and you waddled. That shit might happen tomorrow, whether you a ball player, a stage actor, or international model. I don't care, neither should no one. I'll say that shit to Hulk Hogan, Obama down to Joe Rogan. Head of the studio that made Frozen. My brain's variable tape speed, subgenius or hayseed. Try waving your resume, all of a sudden I can't read.
On a quiet Saturday.
Fake it, make you evil. And it's a shame, cause we done lost so many people. It gets to brain, we start behaving like a sheep do. This song is a prayer, and you should aim it where you need to. And when you say it, they believe you. This is a prayer, and you should aim it where you need to. Get out my mom, get out my father, not my food, get out my water, not your hurt, get out my lava. What the fuck is my problem? It's a prayer for the American religion. Get out my food, get out my Java, not my nurse, get out my doctor, not my priest, get out my llama. What the fuck is my problem? It's a prayer for the American religion.
What is good, y'all? I think there's a new Solid JJ. Hold up. And I boomer it up. There we go.
Get Oliver out of
Hey, I didn't know you heard it before. I'm glad you like it. I definitely vibe with that track. All right, to some Solid JJ, and then on to some goofy shit, and then some evolution shit, and then more goofy shit.
now. I'll handle it.
Nolan, hold on.
There's no time. As for you, time to put you down.
Dad, Nolan!
You're stronger than I thought.
Wait, did they fight?
Seems the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
What the fuck do you know about apples?
Fight me!
Jesus Christ, he's killing him!
Are they
Animation
moving too fast,
budget
or,
gate.
like, I'm not getting any of this.
What do you mean?
Just like this. I don't. Are they fighting?
Yeah, they're
It
fighting.
doesn't really. I don't know. For a battle to the death, it doesn't really seem all that climactic.
This is how every fight looks back on Earth.
Look, I know fighting takes a lot of time and energy out of you, but they're from Viltrum. That's like the wealthiest empire in the galaxy. With all the resources they have, you'd imagine their fights
Oh,
would be more...
don't even fucking start.
What the fuck? It's not been this bad.
You're being really fucking negative right now.
I'm sorry, but what was that?
You ever heard of the phrase blink and you miss it where you're from?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a fucking riddle. You blinked and you missed it.
Oh, come on. All the other fights look just fine.
Alan, look, Viltrumites might be strong, but it also takes a lot of energy and force to move. So to conserve that energy, sometimes we make as little physical movement as we can. So we'll become a little bit more stiff, a little bit less animated, you might say. And if we
why
were to be
One
monitoring
Punch
how
Man
much
this
movement
season
we're
was
making and we
trash.
can make, then I guess it's kind of like budgeting. So in a way, it's kind of like a Viltrumite animation budget. That works, right? That makes sense?
Very specific phrasing, but all right. But again, you guys are from Viltrum. You have like infinite energy, right? Why is your budget so low?
Because Jeff Bezos wanted to go to the moon.
What are you saying?
Come on, we need to get in there.
I really don't think we should.
Dude!
No, if this is
That
how it's gonna
actually
go, I don't think
tracks.
I'm gonna be any help to you at all.
Fine, whatever. I'll do it myself. And you know why? Because I'm invincible. What, we couldn't afford the title? Come on. Oh, there it is. Conquest! I've seen the future. And
How did you do that?
Oh, shit!
Now stay dead.
Can you kill him? How did you kill him?
Oh, come on, you're right there. What, does 2 eyes really make a difference?
No, man, I didn't see shit. I mean, a fight between Titans and all I got was a fucking slideshow.
We're talking over screenshots right now.
You know what I mean? That's enough. Ah, shit.
You've broken my toy. You understand I'm owed my retribution.
Alan, get Oliver out of here. And,
All right.
Oh,
What?
Nothing. It's just, that was pretty quick.
Well, it seems like it's life and death, you know, and you said,
no,
I was
it's
following what
fine.
you
It's just,
said.
I thought you would say no
Well,
or,
did you
or
want me to
something.
say no or?
Dead?
Get Oliver.
Dude, a homie of mine sent me a meme, and it was that Eve stayed on Earth and killed more Viltrumites than Oliver did. It's the foulest thing I've ever read.
For anyone, really, just take Oliver, get his purple ass out of here. I'll hold him off.
I'm just kind of here, aren't I?
Nolan, you're awake. Good. You'll get to watch as I rip your kin limb from limb.
Well, that's grotesque.
Wait, I saw that one. That one moved.
Wait, that one moved?
Yeah.
Like surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Well, see you next season.
What does that mean?
This video is brought to you by Gamersubs, and for a week now, you
Alright.
can get free worldwide
So,
shipping
Jenny-
for any orders over.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I found the foulest PSA the other day. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it. When did this happen? It's 8 years old.
Another lesson from my neighborhood. Do you know how to tell if mom is overdosing on drugs? If your mom shoots dope every day like mine, you can only help her if you know the signs of an overdose.
An overdose?
Yes, an overdose. Don't call the ambulance if you're in doubt, unless she shakes uncontrollably or foams at the mouth. That's an overdose.
Okay, that's an overdose.
That's an overdose.
Right?
You could find her on the floor or find her
It's
in
not
bed,
supposed to be
and if
funny,
you
but
know
God damn
what to
it.
do, she won't end up dead of an overdose.
Really?
Yes, an overdose.
Well, I don't know.
The signs of danger are simple to see. If she's twitching and seizing and can barely breathe, that's an overdose.
Yeah.
That's an overdose. That's an overdose. Mom always knows best.
And then it gets extra depressing. Like, how are you gonna set me up with puppets, and then give me the depressing part? Yeah, that definitely is on similar levels. Okay, so now an update about the David situation, and I have to do it before Moon shows up so he can say I never did it.
David had a problem. This upcoming trial is not looking good for him. For starters, the police have 40 terabytes of evidence against him. Among that evidence,
How do you
prosecutors
have
say David had a significant amount of, listen closely, youth corn on his phone. If you don't know what that means, look in the comments. And this is why I say David had a problem, because forget the trial for a
huge
second.
problem.
The stuff that David had on his phone can already put him in jail for decades. And I don't know how David's lawyer can swing that. The prosecutor said, we found it on David's phone. So at that point, there's not much speculation you could do there. David had this stuff on his phone. So David's lawyer is probably gonna look at David and be like, look, I mean, I'm gonna try to get you off the charge, but that other stuff ain't looking good. Because remember, David's got another charge for being with someone of an age that he had no business being with someone that. If you didn't know Celeste Rivas's age, then look in the comments. So there's so much evidence that he was with her. David's lawyer probably finna look at David and be like, bro,
damn it, Moon's here.
What do you want me to do about that? You might have to take that charge to the chin, and that ain't no light charge. So David's probably realizing right here in this picture what I want you to understand in this
Just when I
video,
think I'm
that
being
even
sneaky.
without the charge, David could still face decades upon decades in prison just off all the stuff involving him and the youth. Stuff that, again, police have a lot of evidence for. But here's where
Brings
things start
whole
to
new
get
meaning to
wicked,
leave
because
them
one of
kids
the
alone.
most important pieces of this case actually might be people who are witnesses to this event. And when I say witnesses, I mean witnesses in any capacity. That's going to make sense in a moment. You see, David's got managers, many people who work for him that might have known about his relationship with Celeste. That's a problem for them. In fact, David's manager came out and said a while back, he said, look, I don't know nothing about this. All right, y'all got to leave me alone on the internet. Y'all be making stuff up. There's an email of me out there, someone saying that I knew about David's relationship. That's cap. Well, that email got leaked. So it says there's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with
And
the
Ancom, if you want to pop in
Celeste
for
Rivas.
the
If that statement holds any
Evolution
merit,
video.
please do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are very worried.
You're more than
This is
welcome.
somebody sending this to David's manager. Listen to this next part closely. Allegedly, apparently, David's manager took a screenshot of this, sent it to David. David then sent this picture to one of Celeste's friends. The next day,
That's
Celeste
rough.
gets sent home. Now, this is speculation, but what makes sense in the situation is somebody sends this to David's manager. David's manager goes, hey, yo, rushes over to David and says, yo, what is this? You got to take that girl and send her home. David sends the message to one of Celeste's
Call
friends
the
saying,
damn
look, why
cops.
y'all
What are you
snitching?
doing?
The manager probably say, I don't care about snitch here. I don't care about snitch there. This is going to jeopardize your career, David. It's going to mess with my money too. So send that girl home. David probably sent her home.
You
Now,
could mean
remember,
that
I
in
said
two different
David
ways, Jenny. I
sent
just want to make
this
sure.
Screenshot this email to one of Celeste's friends. So that's probably the person that leaked this out, saying, oh, David's manager over
I've
here
never heard a
capping,
single
David's manager
song from him.
lying, like he never got an email. Well, I have the screenshot of the email, so I'm going to send it out. Police probably looked at this email. They said, huh, would you look at that? David's manager most likely knew about David's situation with Celeste. That's illegal, but more importantly, that's a witness to the events. So they can go over to David's manager and get information from him. How do you get information from somebody? You say, hey, look, I got you doing something illegal over here. Why don't you tell me everything you know, or you go to jail? Now, nobody knows exactly what David's manager knows, except most likely the police. But let me mention this next part to you. The day of Celeste getting, David had an album release party. It was the day of or the next day. So his managers were in his house. And remember, police say that David lured Celeste to his house saying, hey, come over. I need to
Lured?
talk to you about something. So she was around his house. The managers were around his house, meaning managers probably were there while Celeste was there. That doesn't mean they saw her getting, but it means they might have information. And if David's managers have any information, you know they giving it to police ASAP.
Oh, I'd be
They
singing.
finna snitch. They don't want to be associated with David at all at this point, I'm sure. On top of all of this, yes, there's more. They wiretapped David, meaning they recorded David while he's probably snitching on himself. If it's in the evidence, that means it's relevant to the case. He was saying something that they got him. Ooh, he's in trouble. And this isn't all the evidence. This is just basically a sprinkle of what the prosecutors were giving out. But let me be clear that the prosecutors are supposed to big up themselves. They're supposed to make it look like David has no chance. And from what they said, I mean, it really looks like David has no chance. But I've seen prosecutors screw up the easiest looking cases. Like, even though their evidence seems super solid, the defense attorney just flips it on them, and then the prosecutors sit there looking stuck. For instance, they can have so much evidence, the internet can have so much evidence about David being with Celeste. Like, come on, we know like he must have been with Celeste, but all David's attorney has to say is like, you got the text of them saying that they were together, or was that like his little sister? I mean, if you look at all these pictures and all this evidence, it could just be like a big bro talking to his little sis. Like, that was his huge fan. Like, he had love for her, just not in that way. The prosecutors could be like, no, here's David saying, I love you. We got a text of him saying, I love you. The defense attorney would be like, yeah, he said, I love you to his little sister too. Like, what that mean? So it is still going to come down to how skilled David's attorney is and how skilled the prosecutor is. But with the evidence involved, let's just say it looks like the prosecutor has an AK and David's attorney has a pistol. Now, as
you
for
would
how
think,
Celeste
but
she was poked with something
it's happened
really
to far
sharp,
larger stars.
object 2 times. And really, we don't need to go into detail. That's all that really needs to be
Look
said
at Jimmy
about
Savile.
that. I want to go to Celeste's parents real quick. There have been people that have come out and said that charges should be brought against Celeste's parents. But what I do want to say is people genuinely have no
They were
idea
clearly bad
what
parents.
Celeste's parents' role was in this situation. From all I've researched about this case, it's honestly my opinion that Celeste's parents just couldn't control her. I mean, think about how you might have been to your parents growing up. Think about how young kids are like to their parents all the time. So many people are saying that Celeste's parents should have done more. I want to agree with that. I do, but it truly depends on the situation. This isn't to defend Celeste's parents because I genuinely don't know what they might have known. Why I'm thinking about this is because I try to put myself in their shoes and think, what can you do in this situation for real, for real? Like, if your daughter's like, all right, I'm gone and I'm not coming back. Like, I can't like handcuff her to the bed. Like, I could ground her, I guess, but when she goes to school, she's gonna leave, like Celeste actually did. Like, she was supposed to go to school and then she actually just went to David's place. All right, so it's been a while. So what I can do is file a police report. The parents filed a police report. What are the police gonna say to you? Oh yeah, kids go missing all the time. I mean, yeah, we're gonna look. And then police never actually look. So you can call your kid, they don't pick up. I mean, what can you like do? You don't know David's address. You don't know where he lives. Like, it's tough. Maybe this email was from Celeste's family and friends to the manager as their way to get Celeste back, which worked until Celeste left again. I say this for people who may lose their kids to drugs or may lose their kids to them running away. You know, there's only so much you can do before you actually just feel powerless. Again, I don't know what Celeste's parents did. They could have actually just did nothing and not cared. But on the chance that they cared and did everything in their power to get their daughter back,
Guiltiest
I say,
mugshot ever? I don't know. There are some pretty guilty
they should be
mugshots
arrested
out there.
stuff, you know. And why I say that,
Like that chick
especially
that,
is because we
shot
gotta
on dudes
focus
on the hood of,
one
dude's
dude. A
car.
lot of people, in my opinion,
She
for
looked
cases
very
like this,
satisfied
get
with
lost
what
in the
she
sauce.
did.
It's understandable because it's an infuriating situation. You get mad. Everybody who might have a hand in this, you want to take down. I feel it. But right now, and it seems police are thinking the same thing. Charges are not going to be brought up against the parents. They're not even going to look into the parents for now. They've got their eyes and their targets locked on to this man. And again, with all the evidence and charges that seem to be against him, I think it's going to be tough for the prosecutors to fumble this one. And David will probably be going to jail for a couple decades.
I mean, 40 terabytes though? All right, Ancom, you there? I'm gonna play it. And so, like, this would be how I would have an evolution debate with Kung Fu Joe. Like, I would keep it to human adaptation and previous hominid species that we were able to intermingle with going all the way back. Because, like, if he can't acknowledge that, you know, there were Denisovans, there were Neanderthals, there were other human species before Homo sapiens that we were compatible with and we developed some things from as transitional species. Like, there's no, there's absolutely no evidence that he would accept. So I'm going to run this one.
Gene ABCC11. The year is 38,000 BC, somewhere in northern China. It's the...
Right, let me pause it. Ancom just went in the room. And let me set it up to play in there as well. What's up, Ancom?
Yo, how's it going?
Yeah, tell me how you feel about this one, because I think this is a great video.
I haven't seen it, so we'll find out in a bit, won't we?
All right, playing the video. Say pause whenever.
middle of the winter and the glaciers have pushed your tribe into a narrow valley. Your whole tribe has been huddled inside shelters of animal hide and mammoth bone. There is a fire in the middle of your shelter keeping you warm and cozy. The air inside is rancid. Sweat, smoke, wet fur, and 40 bodies that haven't seen water in weeks. But you don't smell like everyone else. In fact, you don't smell at all. You carry a mutation on the ABCC11 gene, a single letter swap in your DNA that shuts down the proteins your sweat glands would normally secrete. You produce no body odor and your earwax is dry and flaky instead of wet and sticky. The other men in your tribe can't figure out why the women keep choosing to sleep near your side of the shelter. One of them, a girl you've had your eye on, leans in close to you one evening and whispers,
"You smell like nothing."
She's never said that to anyone before, mainly because it's never been true until now. They will later write about you in history books and refer to you as the Chenyuan man. But for now, you're about to experience natural selection. Gene ACTN3. It's 200,000 years ago on the East African...
Yeah, I'd never heard about that one.
Me either, honestly. I'm not surprised by it. Because, like, yeah, we go through weird mutations all the fucking time. So, yeah, that one makes sense to me.
And, like, when addressing someone like Joe, like, to understand that there's a mutation, it could have been a negative mutation or a mutation like that one that was actually positive for that individual that caused them to pass down their genes. Now this person's representation is going to move on and they may become like a predominant mutation. And currently there's a story going around showing that redheads are becoming like a predominant mutation in the evolutionary track of human beings, and there's going to be more redheads coming about than ever before.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Koreans don't sweat. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Moon. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It was interesting because Joe and I actually got into this with the whole peacock thing. I don't remember, I think that was on this channel. I think so anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, because he was giving peacocks trying to give peacocks as a counterexample for evolution because, you know, the fact that they had put all this energy and effort and material into creating these giant plumes, and he didn't accept sexual selection as an explanation for that. What we just watched is an example of sexual selection. It is a form of selection that isn't necessarily based on environment, but is based on mate selection. And so that gene that caused someone to be able to more easily get a mate or possibly get more mates than others will tend to be passed on. And like, that is just a different form of sexual selection. And like over, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, you're going to see that continue to amplify itself over time until you get this ridiculous blue, green, purple iridescent peacock and the peahens that want to fuck it.
There you go. And that's like how a lot of this video is going to go. Like what ended up being a trait that was something that people were more willing to have kids with for whatever reason.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
and it's interesting because I looked into some of the literature after that debate, and like I was originally going to just classify sexual selection as another form of natural selection, but in fact that's not the case, surprisingly. Granted, these are all just human categorizations of things, so it's just us saying this isn't based on environment so much it is on mate selection, and that's like that could be influenced by environment or by itself, but like it's not a direct thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and the next one I would get in. Well, I'll talk about it after this next segment.
You suffer through one of the worst dry seasons you can remember. Food has been scarce, and many people in your tribe have perished. Your hunting party has been tracking a wounded kudu since dawn. Hours of walking, following blood trails through tall grass. The animal is limping now, slowing down, but it's still faster than any of you. Your group fans out wide, driving it toward a rocky outcrop where it has nowhere to run. Then it makes a break for a gap between the rocks. The other hunters hesitate. You don't. Tonight, your group eats because of you. And when you walk back into camp with meat over your shoulders, every pair of eyes turns your way. You carry something scientists will later call the ACTN3 gene, the original speed gene. Scientists will later discover that over 1.5 billion people alive today have lost this gene entirely. Those who lost it traded speed for energy efficiency as they adapted to colder climates. But in your world, the fastest hunter who makes the kill isn't just fed, he's chosen. You're about to experience natural selection. FTO. It's the year 7...
Yes, I am going to giggle stupidly every time he uses natural selection as an innuendo.
It's a great innuendo. No, you're definitely not wrong, Jamie. So, like, yeah, the other thing I was going to get into would be genetic atavisms. And showing that human beings are born with tails, or in the case of Harry Styles, 4 nipples. And so,
yeah, I mean, that's the whole, and this, they always say this in a way that is overly complicated and uses words that no one knows, but it's the whole ontology recapitulates phylogeny, I think it is. No, not ontology. What is it? I think it's another O word, but I can't remember. Basically, it's just saying that development in utero goes through many of the same steps that, like, evolution itself went through. So the fact that we have those atavisms, those, tails that tails that go away, and the fact that we start out with webbed fingers and toes in utero, and then we develop more detail, it sort of reflects the process that we went through evolutionarily. I can't remember the exact phrase now.
Well, if you remember it at any point, go ahead and shout it out. Well, some people are actually born with tails. Like Kesha was born with a tail that had to be removed. And so, like, the genes that we have, all the genes that we've accumulated over time are all still in that information when we're born. And so we can have some of those genetic throwbacks because we don't shunt off the genes. They just aren't selected for. And in the case that they happen to be selected for, we will have those attributes, whether or not we like those attributes, which is why the tail was removed.
So interestingly, there was I listened to a musical artist called Acapella Science. He does acapella covers, or rather, I guess, parodies technically, of like popular songs, but with the lyrics changed to be about some scientific topic. And so he did one on evolutionary development. Short name is Evo Devo, which he based on Despacito, because that was the popular song at the time. And there's a line in it that goes, "Safer than mutation aimed at regulation, keep the building blocks and swap their activation." And this is the idea that, like, every gene, or every protein coding gene in our genome generally doesn't exist by itself. It's usually part of a chain of activations that occur within the genome to basically say, yes, this protein coding gene does get expressed or doesn't get expressed. And so generally with it, like, these mutations that we have often aren't to the gene itself, but rather to one of the signaling genes. And this is really interesting because there was last year, there was a huge development in which we finally got the first like large scale medical use of CRISPR gene editing, and it was specifically as a treatment for sickle cell disease.
Oh.
Because the way that it works, interestingly, is that this the gene that codes for the certain protein that is found in most red blood cells, but is not found in sickle cell in sickle shaped red blood cells. The gene that codes for that protein is one that is deactivated in adulthood in people with sickle cell disease. But interestingly, there's another gene that exists. Oh, I'm sorry, I screwed this up. Let me back up here. So there is a gene that exists in childhood and another gene that exists in adulthood. People with sickle cell disease are missing the latter gene, but they all have the former gene, the one that expresses that protein in childhood. It's just that protein or that gene sequence gets disabled in adulthood. So in order to treat sickle cell disease, what they do is they completely extract all of your bone marrow. This is not a this is not a non-invasive procedure by any means.
Super invasive.
But, yeah. So they extract all of your bone marrow, and then they inject your own bone marrow that had been taken earlier, and it had been CRISPR'd so that all of the cells in the bone marrow, which create the blood, have had this sequence that deactivates the childhood gene that allows for that protein to be coded for. They just took out that one deactivating gene. And so they take out all of your bone marrow and put back this small amount of bone marrow that they took earlier and modified, because the bone marrow will eventually completely regenerate throughout your body. One of the few organ systems that can, the liver being a notable other one. Anyways, and so they do that, and it turns out it has been incredibly successful. Mind you, this treatment, because of the fact that it's so new and so complex, costs millions of dollars. But, you know, a treatment for sickle cell disease, not a bad thing, even if it is absurdly expensive. But, you know, that cost will probably come down over time, at least somewhat. So yeah, and this is just one of those things that we've learned in the study of evolutionary development, which would not exist had the study of evolution or via natural selection and the various other mechanisms not begun or been shut down by people like Kung Fu Joe 150 years ago.
Fair enough.
So, you know, modern medicine relies on evolution being true, and if you don't like it, please feel free to go die in a forest.
I mean, you could only hope that that would be the case before they screw up something. But yeah, I'm going to get to that after this video, because I don't know if you know that Kung Fu Joe had another debate pretty recently against First Amender about evolution.
Yeah, I caught a small bit of that, and I thought the First Amender was not doing the best job I've seen of someone against Joe. Not to say I've done better, but, you know, I feel like folks like Maida and Myopic, I think Myopic has debated Joe on this, I could be wrong.
A little bit.
But, yeah. But I know Maida has done that, and I thought he did a better job than First Amender did. Granted, I only saw a fairly small portion of it, so I may have missed the better bits.
Well, of course, Made by Jim Bob happened across the video and gave it a critique and gave him some
of course he
pointers.
did.
So we'll watch that portion after this, but yeah.
Fun.
All right, on to the next segment. Next gene.
1000 BC on the island of Crete, your village has just had their best harvest in decades. Weeks of wheat, lentils, and roasted goat. More food than anyone has seen in months. You prepare a feast and most of your tribe eat until they can't move, but while everyone else stops eventually. You don't. You carry the A variant of the FTO gene, the most common obesity-related gene in the human genome. It increases your levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone, so even after a full meal your brain keeps whispering...
Okay, so Hammer just said the thing. He said, at that point you need evidence of a mechanism that prevents adaptations from becoming macroevolutions.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Next time I talk to Kung Fu Joe about this, I'm going to ask him, because he accepts adaptations. I want to ask him what he thinks an adaptation is and what he thinks would happen to an organism after a series of hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of different adaptations all stacking on top of one another. What might that do to an organism? Would it significantly change it in a number of ways, or would it be the same just with 10,000 different adaptations? Which one makes more sense?
I think we already know the answer to that, but I don't know if he could even
Of course we
begin
do,
to...
but I would love to see what I would love to see how he would rationalize it away. Oh, it has been asked. Okay, well, you know.
So
No, look, I know he is Zephyr, but I still like I'm still looking for, well, I guess gotchas is the best thing. I'm looking for something that would actually make him stop and think for a moment about why his worldview is stupid.
you want him to acknowledge the stupidity that he's pushing forward, and you hope that he can come to that realization in real time and like stop doing what he's doing. That's not going to happen.
No, it's more that I'm hoping after enough conversations that enough of these moments where he experiences the cognitive dissonance in real time, and he'll find a way to dismiss it, but maybe eventually enough of them will stack up and he'll be like, wait, am I wrong? I don't think it's actually going to happen, but it's the only way I know of to, change someone's mind is through repeated effort over long spans of time. Also, this FOH1 gene that he's talking about here, I'm fairly certain I have it, because the thing he described of eating until you're full and your brain still saying, I'm hungry, I have that. It's the only reason Ozempic works so goddamn well, is it turned off that one fucking stupid signal.
That's rough. But it has a happy ending, so in more ways than
Fair
one.
enough.
Zephyr, you cannot show evidence of cognitive dissonance to someone who has cognitive dissonance. True. The primary thing that they like to hold out on is they want to know the exact point or see something that transitioned from one organism to another organism that couldn't continue to reproduce with that organism. So that's why they constantly bring up Pachycetus.
Species.
Yeah, and the thing is, all species are pretty much in transition, like at all times.
All the time, yeah.
When is that going to be like the thing?
Because there is no one solid, there is no one solid, no counterexamples, definition of a species. There are lots of different species concepts, and none of them fully do the job, because species is a category created by humans to put animals into little boxes, and nature tends to resist being put into little boxes.
It do. Oh, I just screwed up. Anyway.
It happens.
Yeah, I found out about a number of different species. Like you have things like ligers. You have I think it was called wolfen.
I recently learned about the oh shit, what was it? Hold on. Narluga. A crossbreed of a narwhal and a beluga whale.
I did hear about that one as well in the same video I found out about the wolfen in.
Yep.
I'm like, what is this thing?
Yep. Whales plus dolphins and narwhals plus belugas. Because these are all related animals. And of course, Joe would just respond to that by saying, well, they're all of a kind.
Yeah, kind is not in any way a reasonable...
It's not a biological concept. Like, the closest thing that, what was his name? Clint. Clint's Reptiles. He has been going over, these anti-evolution videos himself, and doing a really good job, I think, of steel manning the arguments given in these videos and then explaining why they're wrong after doing a fairly good job at steel manning them. And he equated the concept of a kind to the biological concept of a clade. The problem is a clade doesn't fit in the normal taxonomic hierarchy anywhere, because a clade is literally a species and all of its descendants, right? So his tagline out of this is, you can't evolve out of a clade, because no matter how much you evolve, you are still a descendant of something in the past, and that is never going to change. That's why birds, by virtue of their descent, are still technically reptiles. They just happen to be feathered, warm-blooded, airy-boned, sequentially egg-laying reptiles.
And that tracks.
Yep.
And there's been more and more videos coming up lately about dinosaurs being birds and what the T-Rex actually was. Like, these are all things we're still learning about, so it's not like we have all the information out there, but it's a more satisfactory explanation than anything that they're putting forward as they're trying to debunk the realities that we understand.
Another good song from Acapella Science is More Than Birds, which is a cover of More Than Words. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was it. Pigeons and doves coo, they're not two birds, but one from a deeper view, with life that always holds true. One descent, but if you only knew how clearly gulls and geese have had their roots revealed. Just the beginning of it to, give you a little taste.
Very nice. Taekwondo Joe. So on to the happy ending of this story.
You eat another roasted goat and your body converts every spare calorie into fat. After the feast is done, the women in your village don't exactly look your way. They prefer the lean fishermen and the strong farmers. You're not that. But then the rains don't come. The crops fail. The goats have no more grass to eat. One by one, the lean men start to succumb to the famine, those with flat stomachs and visible veins. The ones you've envied your whole life. Months pass and more of your tribe perishes. You're still hanging on, living on a few wild nuts in your fat reserves. When the rain finally returns, you're a changed man. You're not taller or stronger, but you are noticeably thinner. And most of all, you're alive. The survivors do not have much choice. You're about to experience a natural selection. HERC2, 15,000 BC, southern Italy. You're born to your mother's scream and father's silence. Up until this point, every human ever born has had brown eyes. Yours are blue, like a winter sky. You carry a mutation in the HERC2 gene, a switch that turned off the pigment your eyes were supposed to have. But nobody thinks you're special in a good way. You don't hunt better. You don't run faster. Your special eyes don't help you at all. Most tribesmen just think you're weird or cursed. You learn to keep your head down as you grow up. One day, when you sit and ponder how you could have been so unlucky, you notice a girl your age watching you from behind the trees. And she doesn't look afraid. She looks curious. She comes closer, closer than anyone has in years. She doesn't say anything. She just stares straight into your eyes like she's trying to understand what she's seeing. 17,000 years from now, 300 million people will carry your exact mutation, every one of them traced back to you. But for now, you're about to experience natural selection, and it all started right here.
So the blue eye one is pretty interesting in my opinion, because it's one common ancestor that had that particular thing, and all those people that have that particular thing are semi-related.
Chances are that mutation occurred more than once in an individual. So, he's oversimplifying a lot of these things. I think, I don't know 100% for certain that's the case, but given the number of mutations human cells go through on the daily, it would be hard for me to believe that he is the only one who has ever had that mutation rather than it being passed down from a parent.
The way I've always heard that related is that it was literally from one particular individual, and literally everyone that has this particular mutation is related in one way, shape, or form.
Okay. Well, I mean, in reality, we're all related. You like go back 1,000 years, and the number of ancestors we would have that far back exceeds the number of people who were alive at the time.
Fair enough. Yeah, scientific research suggests that all blue-eyed people share a single common ancestor who lived 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, likely near the Black Sea. This ancestor possessed a genetic mutation on the OCA2 gene that turned off the ability to produce brown pigment, effectively diluting brown eyes to blue, a mutation now carried by all individuals with blue eyes. Freaking crazy.
Interesting, because it named a different gene than the one he did in the video. He said it was the HERC3 gene.
Yeah, he's saying it's the HERC2. So I don't know if he's entirely correct in all this, or maybe, yeah, this one's saying it's the OCA2. So maybe he just had it wrong on that, but on the Caucasus Mountains next to the Hormuz Strait.
Oh, it was HERC2, my mistake.
Yeah, he says it's HERC2. What is HERC2? Let me look it up real quick.
Just the name of a gene. Usually they have really
so the
boring...
HERC2 is a massive enzyme that regulates DNA repair, protein degradation, and gene expression, notably influencing eye, hair, and skin pigmentation. I don't know if it's related to the OC.
Well, it did mention that it was related to pigmentation, so that's...
Because this could have been, what do you call it? Albino.
I mean, yeah, but, like, that would require more genes to be turned off, because, like, albinos, I believe, are entirely lacking melanocytes, which are the melanin-producing cells in skin and all of the other places where melanin exists.
Fair enough. All right, next gene.
ALDH2, 3200 BC in southern China. You're part of the Paiyue tribe, and your village has just discovered something amazing. If you leave rice in water long enough, it turns into something that makes the whole tribe feel incredible. Rice wine catches on fast. Every gathering is an excuse to drink. Your family loves it, your neighbors loves it, your elders loves it. And why wouldn't you? It's cheap and makes you feel good. Except it doesn't make you feel good. Every time you drink it, your face goes red, your heart starts racing, and your stomach turns inside out. You feel incredibly unlucky, and all you want to do is join in on the fun. You don't know it yet, but you carry a variant of the ALDH2 gene, a mutation that cripples your body's ability to break down acetaldehyde, the toxic byproduct of alcohol. But as the years go on, something changes. The men who drink every night starts falling apart. They start fighting at night, and in the morning they miss the harvest too hungover to work the paddies. And the most beautiful woman in your village has just left the guy who's currently face down in the dirt. And tonight, you'll make sure your descendants won't exactly be chugging kegs at Harvard. DRD4. It's 50,000 years ago. East Africa. Your tribe has everything it needs. Fresh water, game, shelter. Everyone around you is content. They eat, they sleep, they sit by the fire every night and tell the same stories. Everything is blissful, and you should be too. But you can't stop looking at the horizon. You carry a mutation on the DRD4 gene, a change in your dopamine receptor that makes it less sensitive to reward. What satisfies other people barely registers for you. You need more risk, more novelty, more of whatever's on the other side of that mountain. While the other men stay close to camp, you disappear for days. They hunt on the same side of the river as always. You cross it and find new animals no one has ever seen before. You do things that make no sense to the careful and sensible people around you. One day you come back with meat nobody has ever tasted. The women take notice. They don't pick you. Not yet. But some do think you're exciting. Everyone else thinks you're kinda weird. The elders shake their heads. Why leave when everything you need is right here? But good times never last. And when the dry season hits harder than everyone expected, the elders say to wait it out. They have always waited it out. But you are not someone who waits. You decide to leave one last time. A few women decide to follow you. Not because they have to, but because they've been watching you leave and come back alive for years. And this time, they'd rather take their chances with the restless one than sit and wait with the men who never left. Scientists will later discover that the further a population migrated from Africa, the more likely they carry your gene. The people who crossed into the Americas, the longest migration in human history, carry it at the highest rate on Earth. But you didn't leave because you had to. You left because you wanted to. And now, the women want you too. MC1R. Your ancestors were the restless ones. The ones who left Africa when no one else would. They kept moving north, through deserts, across mountains, over ice. And now, 1,600 generations later, you're standing at the edge of the world. But maybe that was a mistake, because you've ended up on cold, dark land that is cursed by evil spirits. The sun barely shows itself, and when it does, it's low and pale, barely breaking through the gray mist, and the spirits are taking their toll. All the children in your tribe are bow-legged, and most adults walk like their bones are made of wet wood. The evil spirits gather in wounds, refusing to let them heal. It's like this place sucks the life out of everyone who stays here. Your parents are sick like everyone else. They have brown skin and dark hair and look like nothing unusual, but they both carry one silent copy of a mutation they don't know about. On its own, it does almost nothing. But when two carriers have a child, you get a threshold effect, and that child is you. Your skin is pale and your hair bright red. You look like a mistake, which you are in a way, but every weak ray of winter sun that touches your skin passes straight through and gets converted into vitamin D, the molecule that keeps bones hard, immunity sharp, and wounds closing. While the others are aching and exhausted, you're still pulling fish from the shallows. When you get a bonefish hook through your palm, you just pull it out and keep working. The same mutation that turned your hair red also quietly rewired your pain system. Your body produces more of its own painkillers than everyone else's. Scientists will later call your special gene MC1R, a recessive mutation that was invisible in your parents but explosive in you. One gene changed your hair, your skin, and your relationship with pain. Only 1 to 2% of people alive today carry 2 copies, but on your cursed land, which will one day be called Scotland, that number is 13%, because in a land with almost no sun, the pale one with the red hair was the last one still standing. And around here, that's enough. MC6.
That's right, folks.
It's 1,000...
Redheads are genetically superior because they have a higher resistance to pain.
It's so crazy.
And why I wish I were, in fact, a redhead.
I got some of those genes in me, but I'm not a redhead.
Well, I mean, you got too much pigment from your other ancestors for that to happen.
Yeah, I grow like random red hairs. It's freaking crazy. But definitely didn't end up a daywalker, thankfully. But soon they will be taking over, so we have to get on their good side. So notice
I, for one, welcome our new redhead overlords.
Couple of these Kung Fu Joe evolution debates, he's unprepared completely, but also understands no actual scientific terms or words for that matter on the actual subject. Yeah, that's kind of the point of why he got called out on his internal critique. If you're not a redhead, that means your parents are smart enough to move out. That was the gene before that. That's the Osiris gene, the just move gene.
Yeah, I prefer to call it something a little more charitable, the explorer gene.
I did not know that
What
was
can
a
I say?
thing.
It is that gene that has allowed humanity to cover the face of the Earth in a way that few other species have accomplished.
True.
In fact, the only ones who really have accomplished it are birds.
Yeah, birds dip.
Yeah.
They migrate.
No other land mammal has managed to reach every single, or okay, no, we've reached. We don't necessarily inhabit, but we have reached every single landmass on this planet.
Why are redheads only in Northern Europe then? They're all over America. We can't get rid of them. We're lousy with them.
Yeah, the mutation started in Northern Europe, but, you know, they migrate. There were redheads in fucking China and Japan and Africa and India. Like, redheads all over the place.
Shockingly enough. Morning, Birdbanes. We're doing evolution talk. Berserkers are canonically redheads, confirmed. Yes, we already knew this. Cuchulainn was dope.
In BC, somewhere in Central Europe, your tribe moves with the herd. When the grass runs thin, you pack up and follow the cattle to the next valley. It's a simple life, but it works. Your herd is the lifeblood of your tribe. The cattle give you everything you need: leather for clothes, meat for sustenance, and milk for breakfast. Most of your tribe drink the milk fresh, still warm from the animal, poured into clay bowls every morning.
Oh, this is
but
terrible.
Your body has never been able to handle
I want to
it.
know. I want to know who the fuck was the first person to think baby cows drink this shit out of their mom's teats. Maybe we should give it a try. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, Moon is in the same boat. First guy to drink cow milk
Moon,
is sucked.
Moon having the same question. Like, sure, it ended up being fine, but like, whose instinct is, hey, this other animal also gives milk like my mom did. Let's drink it.
Yeah, I can't get behind that, but I'm also a very anti-milk kind of person, so...
Like, I'm not anti-milk, I'm just... Whose idea was this, and why the fuck did we continue?
And, like, why don't we drink other milks? Like, we only really drink, what, cow and goat milk? But most mammals lactate. People drink sheep milk?
No. Oh! Yes, people drink sheep milk and sheep cheese and all sorts of stuff, but also, not most mammals lactate, all mammals lactate. It's literally the defining feature. We are called mammals because we were named ourselves after mammary glands.
Even whales lactate. It's freaking weird.
Yes. Every mammal lactates. It is a defining feature. Hell, even platypides, which is my plural for platypuses, even they lactate. They don't have nipples. They just kind of sweat it out. But even they, the
weird.
oldest known mammal, evolutionarily speaking, even they lactate.
That's so freaking weird. They sweat milk.
Yes.
That is so nightmare fuel.
Well, if you think about it, mammary glands are just modified sweat glands.
Yeah.
And Zephyr, can you tell me that platypides doesn't sound 100 times cooler than platypuses?
Chat is insane. Okay.
Yeah,
What
I
is
mean,
this?
Moon spitting facts and Zephyr crashing out because he doesn't like the fact. I mean, what else is new, right?
How did that get auto-modded?
Plypodes, where platypus means flat foot. The Greek root for foot is pod, and so, or pod or puss, either way, it's the same root where we got octopus from. And so the etymologically correct plural for that would be Podes. Platypodes, Platypodes, platypides. You can call it platypodes if you want, and you can be boring as fuck, or you could be interesting like me and say platypides. Okay.
Fucking savages. Yes, it hit the right one, and I'm going to get hurt. All right. Whale milk proof? No. Okay, no, I have to.
I mean, you don't need proof for this, but you know, if you want to watch it,
Morpher
I'm not
Moon's
gonna
curse
stop you.
algorithm. And they put it to a freaking what is the name of that band? Radiohead song. That's crazy.
I mean, they could have just put it to "I'm a freak."
They could have, but that would have been too on the nose.
Fair.
All right, back to why I hate milk.
Every time you try, your stomach cramps. Your gut twists, and you spend the next few hours losing more fluids than you took in. Sure, fermented cheese sits a little easier, but cheese takes days to make, and your tribe has been on the move for weeks. You don't carry the mutation near the MCM6 gene. Your body shut off lactase production when you were a child, just like nature intended. Just like it does for 65% of all humans alive today. When times are good, it doesn't matter. There's grain, there's meat, there's plenty to go around. But right now, times are tough. The grain ran out days ago and the hunting has been poor. All that's left is the herd, and the milk it produces every morning. Everyone else drinks. You can't. You're about to experience natural selection. HBB. It's 1000
I
BC
appreciate
in the
that for once he made natural selection an innuendo for death. I appreciate this.
Yeah. Don't drink milk, you're not going to make it, bro.
No, his problem was he couldn't drink the milk. Everyone else could.
And that's all you got, unfortunately, to have when everything as scarce as the milk, and you were basically going to end up in the outhouse for the duration. You're not going to make it. Is whale cheese a thing? Zephyr. No.
If it
No.
lactates, someone has probably at least tried to make cheese of it.
Oh my
Whether
God.
whale cheese experiment was successful, I don't know. I suspect not. Otherwise, I would expect to see it at least somewhere on the internet. You can buy pretty much anything on the internet, so whale cheese very well may be a thing.
My goodness.
See, this is the difference between you and me, Leafy. When someone asks a question like that, you just say no. I actually think about it.
I thought about it, but I don't want him to continue bringing it up. And see, this is exactly why. Ancom, Moby Dick cheese. There you go. I tried to nip it in the bud, but no. You had to foster it. Oh my God.
I say let the roses bud.
Let the bodies hit the floor at this point.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Okay.
Forests of West Central Africa. Your tribe has been pushing deeper into the jungle for generations, burning and clearing the land to plant crops. Where your grandparents hunted, you now farm. The farms brought stability. More food, more people, a reason to stay in one place. But they also brought something else. Where the trees once stood, puddles of still water collect in the sun. And the fever that had always lingered in the forest now thrives. The fever has no name yet, but everyone knows it. It starts with chills, then heat so intense you feel like your blood is boiling.
You know what this one is,
Children die
Ancom.
first, then the adults who can't fight it off. Your mother died of the fever. So did 2 of your siblings. But not you. You carry 1 copy of a mutation on the HBB gene. Just 1. It changes the shape of some of your red blood cells. When the parasite enters your blood, your misshapen cells kill it before it can take hold. You survive the fever. Again and again and again.
That's right.
You
Malaria
have children,
was a
strong
mutation
children.
that saved
Most
people.
Yep, but it also gave way to something else.
I just said malaria. I meant to say sickle cell disease because it fought against malaria.
Well, the malaria
My
started
brain is all over
first.
the place.
But yep, this is where we get the sickle cell.
Most of them carry what you carry, 1 copy. And they survive the fever too. But one of them doesn't get 1 copy. She gets both. 1 from you, 1 from her mother. And 2 copies don't protect you. 2 copies kill you. You survived the fever so your daughter could die of the cure. This is what natural selection feels like. HMGA2. It's 1860 in the Netherlands. The average Dutch man stands 5'5", one of the shortest populations in Europe. American men tower over them by 3 inches. But you're different. You are almost 5'8". You're not a giant, but you're a full head taller than most men in your village. You carry a handful of gene variants, including one on the HMG-A2 gene, that have pushed your height above the rest. Tonight is the village dance, and she'll be there. The most beautiful girl in your village. You and your mate both agree beforehand to ask her to dance. You watch him walk up, say something, and walk back alone. Now it's your turn. You finish your drink, straighten your back, and walk up to her. She somehow agrees. During the dance, her hand rests on your shoulder. She has to look up to meet your eyes, and something clicks. When the dance ends, you both slip out into the shadows. You cast one quick look back and see your friend standing alone where you left him. But scientists will later discover that men his height were half as likely to find a partner at all. You feel a sting of guilt. But right now, you have more important things on your mind. You are about to experience natural selection. EPAS.
Doesn't that suck? Because that's pretty much what people are complaining about now. Like, oh, if you're not 6 foot tall, you're not finding a mate, which is absolutely not true. But then, it seemed to be the case.
I mean, you know, natural, or should I say sexual selection's a bitch.
Yep. And that's why I think this video is so good. It's showing so many different gene expressions that are allowing for better chances of being selected for.
Well, he's also showing how, in some cases, inheriting too much of a gene or not inheriting a gene can lead to your death. And therefore, your inability to pass on the gene or the lack thereof, showing how beneficial changes get passed on, detrimental changes don't, and so statistically speaking, pretty much only the beneficial changes make it, because that's how gene replication works.
Once upon a time, being fat was seen as beneficial in selecting a mate. That meant you were getting fed and had resource. We kind of covered that one, but it was for different reasons. But yeah,
so
tribes,
like that. Yeah, that one was, you know, being fat allows you to survive famine. But I mean, to a similar point, right? In an age where famine is common, being fat is both practical and, you know, can be seen as, selectively beneficial, because, you know, if you're in an environment where famine happens, you're probably going to, or your descendants will probably also be in an environment where famine happens. So, you know, being able to get fat will probably benefit them.
A little bit. Right.
S1. It's the year 800 on the Tibetan Plateau, 4,000 meters above sea level. The air holds 40% less oxygen.
So this one right here is the one that made me want to watch this video on stream, because this is huge, especially for the arguments that people like Joe make.
And then the world below. For your people, this is not the roof of the world, it's just the world. One day, traders arrive from the lowlands. Strong men, broad shoulders, they laugh loud and walk with confidence. By the second night, they can barely stand. They're gasping, bleeding from their noses, stumbling like drunks. One of them asks you how you breathe up here. You don't understand the question. You've never had trouble breathing. The reason lies in a single gene, EPAS1. And your version of it is unlike almost any other on Earth, because you didn't evolve it, you inherited it from a species that isn't even human. Tens of thousands of years ago, your ancestors mated with the Denisovans, an ancient species that once lived in the mountains of Siberia. We've only ever found a finger bone, a toe, and 2 teeth, but in their genome was the exact variant that now lets you breathe where no one else can. The Denisovans are gone, but their gift lives on in you. 87% of Tibetans still carry it. Only 9% of Han Chinese do. The traders leave after a week, still pale and shaking. They'll tell stories about the people who live on the roof of the world. You won't think about them again. This is just home. You just experienced natural selection. Every gene in this video is real. Every story is based on actual research. I spent way too long fact-checking ancient cave dwellers, so you don't have to. Leave a like for my efforts. Also remember, your genes are still being selected for, still being selected against. You carry some of them right now. You just don't know which ones are winning yet. So go out there and make some new variants.
So yeah, the idea
Badass
that
video.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying badass video, and also I like how he's including
Right,
a bit
man.
of his
Let's
art,
be honest.
at
There's
the
truth
end.
to the phrase that they make a household.
That's gotta end. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Jim Bob.
Yep, Jim Bob. But yeah, the idea that we inherited some genes from other hominid species that are no longer here and we carry those on is pretty clear proof that we have been in transition and have benefited from those transitions. Okay, but why are
Indeed.
my eyes so
Also,
small?
I want to put a petition together to make it to where people stop making fun of people who have Neanderthal genes, because Neanderthals were actually badass. Just saying.
That's fair. I was answering IPA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sweat gene thing came up in the early part of the video that you weren't here for, but yeah, that got covered.
Well, I mean, the sweat smell, that was actually the very first thing they brought up. If you don't have BO, you're more likely to get a mate, especially when you're talking, cave dwellers 20,000 years ago. If you're the only non-smelly guy in the huddling group in the cave, well, women don't want to be around smelly dudes, so they're gonna go sleep next to the non-smelly guy, and
stuff happens.
Yeah, he's going to experience natural selection.
Video is great.
Fucking love that video.
So yeah, Neanderthal DNA, like I've heard that's where the redhead gene comes from, but I don't know for sure.
I don't think we've demonstrated that, but I can't remember. I'd have to go dig into that.
Women hating BO is also natural selection.
I mean, yes.
I'm gonna play it, Mida. I just suck at playing it on stream. Like, play it when I'm not on stream. I actually have to pay attention when I play that. I can just sit here and fail at this with virtually no issue. Okay, so Mida already watched this, but Jim Bob decided to react to a debate. All right, watching horror, shock, and all.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Did you see what Tony did to Rob? What did he do now? What did Tony do to Rob now? You mean when he battled him and Tony and
your system of taxonomy?
Oh, it froze. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Difficult.
Oh boy.
It's a Jim Bob stream. What'd you expect?
Oh, that's my system.
Yes, it has been infected with the Jim Bob virus. That's what I just said.
Did you see what Tony did to Rob? What did he do now? What did Tony do to Rob now? You mean when he battled him and
it'll come up in like
Tony?
I'm just gonna leave it alone.
And Rob said that Tony likes the hog.
Russell Brand is prime react content, dude. Literally,
and then
is
Tony
like
was like
hand waving, being a
this
PDF.
line, that line, this line. I'm gonna literally hunt you down.
I don't want none of that. Russell
Oh,
Brand's
Tony.
a special piece of garbage.
Since human is a part of hominid.
According to your worldview, I guess.
All right. Are you a mammal?
Again, according to your your system of
mammal?
taxonomy, it's whatever it is under your system of taxonomy. I'm not interested in it.
Do humans feed
Zephyr
their
wants in.
babies through the body of their milk through mammary glands?
What are you here to crash out about this time?
What's up, Zephyr?
I'm here to watch the debate and react to it live. not through chat.
We're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're just gonna hear what Jim Bob has to say because some things happen in the process of this. So here we
I'm
go.
here to crash out on Jim Bob live, not through chat.
By all means.
Hands.
Yes.
Okay, so we are mammals.
Yeah, if you say so.
Okay.
If you say so. My God.
Are you a chordate, as in an animal with a backbone? Do you have a backbone?
I have a backbone, yeah.
Brian Shapiro, yeah, he actually slid up my DMs, very aggressively, I'd say. And he was like, call on my show. I'm like, to talk about what? He was like, you're a megatard. And I'm like,
I also want to point out that what First Amender just said there, he asked, are you a chordate? And then he said, do you have a backbone? That is not the definition of a chordate. A chordate is an animal with a spinal cord. A vertebrate is an animal with a backbone. Yes, you can have a spinal cord without a backbone.
True. Yeah, vertebrate would be the word you would use in that instance, but I don't know exactly what he's trying to lead up to, so.
I just don't like it when people say shit like that is so easy to look up and still manage to get it wrong, especially when they're on my side of this particular debate.
Yeah, no. We want to have functional allies. X-Fister just put some. Oh, an Iran.
Well, the good news is that Kung Fu Joe.
Oh God!
The good news is that Kung Fu Joe wouldn't know that either.
Yep.
Sorry, what was that? Z?
I think the good news is that Kung Fu Joe wouldn't know that either. So.
Yeah, but he's answering a question that was asked incorrectly, and it bothers me because someone in that chat, either in his or Jim Bob's, is going to point out, well, that's not what that word means, and they're going to be all smug and, think that it supports their argument that this guy didn't know.
Jim Bob's audience doesn't know that either.
No, I'll watch it, X-Fister. I'm just not going to watch it right now. We're going to do this evolution thing first, then I'm going to play the wizard thing, then I'll probably play that as I close out. Because everything they put out has been a banger, so I'm not unhappy with it. Can't avoid the video because I ran with the true.
I'm not even MAGA.
Let's see where this goes. I'm not even MAGA, probably because they like Jewish people.
I don't care. Are you kidding me?
Well, they don't like Jewish people. They just like Israel. But that's for a very different reason.
Horribly different reason.
But I don't know what it would be about, but sure. I'll have him on Scud. He'd be
Automat has
great.
gone crazy.
Forget debating me. Look, I'm looking for debaters now. We're going to be the new premier pseudo half non-pro. How do I explain it?
Dizzying intellect.
What it is.
Would you please tell me how many subscribers this man has on YouTube?
31.6 thousand.
That's 30,000 more than he should have for given the quality of both the stream and the content.
Gotta love it.
People don't go there to watch streams. People go there to get validation.
True. Use all my gold and transform 2 cards. Fuck yeah, I will.
What are you playing?
Slay the Spire 2.
Not familiar with it. Card or like a deck building sort of game?
Yep. It just came out a month or so ago, but Slay the Spire's been around for a while.
Oh.
I used to play it like when I first started streaming.
Yeah, not really my kind of game, so that's probably why I'm familiar.
That's fair. All right, to this nonsense, let's see if he can actually collect his thoughts.
I can't explain what I'm giving out.
Savage Carnage Unlimited Debate.
The fuck, dude? Bro, what the fuck is this shit?
I'm Mao. That's what I am. Mao?
Levy, what the fuck is this shit,
You
bro?
can't say again for Mao.
Hey.
What are you, some sort of commie? No,
fuck is
make
that
America
clip art
Orthodox. It's the
bullshit,
Mao
bro?
movement.
Bro,
I'm gonna
bro found word art
appropriate
in
Mao
this
Zedong.
Microsoft Office Packet 2000.
He just invented a Maoism that is worse than Maoism. Did you hear what the fuck that man just said?
That's
I was
evolution.
too distracted by his fucking word art shit.
Oh my god.
How does
Make
that
Run
make
it
you
back,
feel?
run it back.
It's legitimately worse than Maoism.
And how does
Run it
that
back.
make you feel? Let's see if
Angry.
I can, because this is a really long stream, so trying to come.
Just press left on your arrow. Just press the left arrow.
That won't work.
Savage Carnage Unlimited Debate.
I'm Mao. That's what I am. Mao? You can't say again for Mao, though. What are you, some sort of commie? No, make America Orthodox. It's the Mao movement. I'm going to appropriate Mao Zedong's imagery.
I was confused when he said I can't use again. And I'm like, okay, technically true for Maoism, but like I didn't really see why he was saying that. And then I realized, oh, okay, if it's make America Orthodox, then yeah, you don't say again.
It's still freaking weird. I will die on that hill.
Make America orthodoxly atheist.
Yeah, because it was never orthodox to begin with.
We're gonna appropriate his appropriation of Mao Zedong and use atheist at the end.
Hey, Ice Bean says hi, Ancom.
Hello, Beans. How's it going?
Yep, this is about to be ridiculous.
And put
we
him in
hit
like
that
Orthodox.
about 2 minutes ago when we started the stream.
Ancom is the GOAT. That's not even in question.
Yep.
Get
Even
up.
I can't question that. And I am
you know,
horrifically
get the
self,
t-shirts out. Make America
self-critical.
Orthodox. Mao.
Okay, so you
Bang bang.
would be a chordate. Are you multicellular life, as in Animalia?
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, you're not one cell, right?
Animal.
Yeah, dude, how does this prove evolution? Saying what people are. What are we? What are... Okay, cool. Can you show me
Because we are
drastic changes that happened in 15 million years between a land cow and a whale, please? Thank you.
Construction event.
Check,
That you
please.
have here, right?
No,
Rather
no,
than
wait,
sticking
wait,
to the
I wasn't
nonsense
done with my-
argument that you have
Hold
in your
on,
racist
stop,
position.
stop.
I'm not
You're
going to
accused of
entertain
being
your
racist.
racism. Yeah,
No,
because
you're
you're
not.
a racist.
Talk
You're being
over me.
racist.
You're
I
not
want to go
being
over the
racist.
actual
Okay,
argument.
hold up. One at a time, one at a time.
I wanted to go to the actual argument,
Let's
not
do
bringing
1
your
minute.
dumbass
I'm
racist
down to
stereotype.
separate this into 1 minute. Why?
Trying to
Wait,
be a
whoa,
racist.
whoa.
Okay, and we host all kinds of debates here on Swords of Reason, politics, culture, ethics, internet topics, and video.
Yep. Okay. So Ice Beans hasn't been here for this nonsense. So this dude showed up in my server named Kung Fu Joe. That's the guy on the right that's debating First Amender. And he's an ortho bro that doesn't believe in evolution and likes to just basically goad people into debates about evolution or atheism or whatever, just because he hates all that stuff. Doesn't like trans people, doesn't like Israel, doesn't like any of that stuff. So he managed to score a debate against First Amender about evolution, which would be probably his 5th or 6th debate about evolution between here and there. And he managed to get the attention of Jim Bob here, who easily enough, Kung Fu Joe has been using Jim Bob's arguments since he first started doing this. So now Jim Bob is reacting to Kung Fu Joe's debate as we react to Jim Bob doing so. So we are in stupidception right now.
Yep. I'll be right back.
For sure.
Video games, anything where reasoning and passion can collide. So if you enjoy the format, make sure you stay locked in because we have a lot more
Are
coming.
you a
If you
banana?
wanna get
I was.
on to a Swords of
You a
Reason,
fish, banana?
join the
Yep.
Discord, discord.gg/.
He admitted it.
Are you a
He
banana
admitted
and
it.
fish?
Message
Of course.
either me.
One time I was.
Another
admitted it.
special
He admitted
sausage.
it. I did.
I don't want to know how the
Nathaniel
sausage is
LHL,
made.
If I accidentally used my brain to randomly reject evolution, would
Mhm.
this be valid according to their worldview?
Yes.
Smiley face emoji. God bless you and your family. Orthodox cross emoji. Latin cross emoji.
Thank you.
How do you feel being appropriated, Zephyr?
Indians speak better English than most Americans, so
I think it sounds
really
better.
it should be called Indian at this point.
Oh, I ain't even messing with that. But yeah, I will say an Indian accent speaking English is better than most things I hear coming out of the South. So I'm gonna just leave that alone. Yeah, Jim Bob is extra dumb, but you got to understand, Kung Fu Joe is a Xerox copy on a very broken machine of Jim Bob. So the ink cartridge is all wonkers and it kind of whirs and goes crazy. And this is what
Yeah.
you get.
Kung Fu Joe is like when your printer is out of color ink and you're just trying to print a black and white picture and it won't let you without the color ink. That's what that's what Joe is.
I love it. Jim Bob was doing 30 seconds of if P then Q, not Q then P before I shut it off. Yeah, that's pretty often the case.
Orthodox cross emoji.
Thank you. What an emoji combo. I nominate JB as the chairman of Mao. Yeah. Yep.
Or a tiny pink
Do you even
nuggets of
human?
chaos in there directly, and we'll get you set up. Also, reminder for the live chat, after closing statements, we're going to be doing a 30-minute Q&A. So I've dropped
I mean, that's
the
30% of
Q&A
the
in there
content,
for you
Razor.
guys, but remember, Super Chats, PayPals, Cash Apps, these will get priority. So if they fill up the whole 30 minutes, we may not get to those ones. So if you have something you really want answered tonight, send it through one of the priority options.
it's
and we'll
hilarious,
make sure
Justin.
it gets asked. And finally,
Jim Bob
thank you to
and
both of our
I have an
debaters
easy
for being
joke
here
here.
tonight. and
Jim
bringing
Bob
it-
and Kung Fu Joe are the disproves of white supremacy.
I mean, the way things are going, you may be debating all of them.
You know what? I mean, it won't just be me, but yes, I will. Actually, I don't think it was. I think they. Who was it setting this up? Was it Maida?
Midas trying to get this to happen, and yeah.
Yeah, but it was Jim Bob, Teriak, and Steelborn, I think is who he wanted. So not Kung Fu Joe. Which honestly is a blessing to their side.
Hey, everybody needs a handicap every now and again. But this is rough. I wouldn't want to do it. Moon.
Because it would be Maida, myself, and Sirker.
Yep.
So honestly, I think the three of us could take the three of them.
How did that go, Ice Beans? Wait, he doesn't believe in the moon landing?
I don't think
Ice
he
Beans
thinks the
doesn't
Earth
believe
is.
in the moon landing.
I think he thinks the Earth is
Oh.
flat. Like, forget about
No,
moon
Joe.
landing.
Ice Beans doesn't believe in the moon landing?
No, that was a joke.
I was about to say.
No, that was a joke. Although she does work for the government. If anyone would know, it's her.
Ah, Ice Beans is hiding the secrets. Gotcha. Whew.
your perspectives into the arena. So whenever one of you is ready to start up the open floor exchange, go ahead and jump in here, and I'll just start the timer.
He's
up with
one
your
of
voice.
those.
So I'm glad. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Wait, I just had a quick question about something you stated earlier. You insisted that I was like an ape, right? Or that I come downstream from an ape.
We are apes. We are,
you ready
all
for
great
this?
apes. All of us.
We are all humans are great apes.
We're a part
Yes.
of a great ape taxonomic category. That's correct.
Okay, so is Michelle Obama a great ape?
Yes.
Yes.
All humans are great apes.
I agree. She's got some pretty broad shoulders.
All right, without like
That's
you
not
going to bring in like the weird racism.
No, I don't know.
specifically
Whoa,
all
whoa.
Well, you know, he's just going to start naming black people.
Yes, and then I will say that's not a distinguishing feature of great apes.
It is not. But this is Jim Bob's move.
like,
Like Jim Bob
okay.
originated this particular.
I'm
I
like,
don't even know
okay,
what to
Michelle
call it.
Obama has wide shoulders. Maybe she works out. You don't know.
it's purely for racist reasons because he also thinks Michelle Obama's a man.
Oh, I'm fully aware of what he thinks. I'm just going down different ways I think would diffuse it.
Is there a better proof of? Is there a better proof of humans coming from apes than Kung Fu Joe and Jim Bob?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, but even chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, outsmart those two.
Bingo.
Hey, chimpanzees aren't our closest relatives. They're Jim Bob and Kung Fu Joe's closest relatives, okay?
They are the precursor to that. And they still fling poo. But no, the counter is definitely not to name white people. That just isn't what you do. It doesn't help anything.
Wait,
What,
whoa,
you mean
whoa,
I can't
whoa.
say
Hey,
John
first-
Cena's an ape?
You absolutely can, but like the whole deal of they don't understand what a great ape is. So they're just thinking, you think you're a monkey. It's so freaking...
No, I just think you're not a lesser ape.
Yeah, it's
Which,
extra
you know,
remedial.
is things like monkeys and lemurs and shit like that.
Aren't lemurs like just another category of primates?
Yes, they are a subcategory of the lesser apes, specifically New World apes, I believe.
Well, by their standard, it would be a kind, and it doesn't make a difference because human beings are created differently.
Mm-hmm. Sure, totally.
Yep, absolutely.
First Amendment, just hold on a second. Hold on just a second. That's another debate.
You've had
I'd be
far
willing
more
to
than a
take.
second.
Is evolution inherently racist? Or does evolution support racism?
No.
Of course.
Whoa, I'm not.
But then he's racist.
Of scientific racism. I'm putting scientific in giant air quotes.
Wait, what'd you say, Zephyr?
There's like many ways this can go, right? Like if he's saying that evolution is inherently racist, he could probably bring some scientific arguments as to why evolution can be used to prove that, you know, superior cultures are superior, which is not true, by the way, but that is a direction that kid can go. But no, he's taking it in even a worse direction, or even a more R-worded direction, which is like, oh, it's racist because we all come from monkeys, therefore black people also come from monkeys. It's like, you had a better argument right there for showing why evolution can be termed as racist, but he decided to go with the worse argument.
He was using the racism thing to jump into the evolution supports racism argument, even though, you know, we were racist long before we had any clues as to evolution. So, sorry, doesn't work.
True.
No, but I guess I don't want to say what I think he would say, because he would say something like, "Oh yeah, see, evolution makes us naturally racism is natural to us. Racism is part of humanity because we've got it from evolution." That's something that
Racism is natural to you, maybe. Fuck what?
That's not to me, but that's what he would say.
Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking about the hypothetical Jimbo.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I mean, there's
No, I
clear reasons.
I know you're racist. All Indians are.
Damn.
Yeah, as the superior culture, like, but we have actual reasons to be racist. Like, we have actual scientific evidence for our racism.
Superior culture GDP per capita is what, a tenth of ours?
Successful diaspora.
What have I gotten myself into?
Support.
Great apes. If you
Most
observe
people,
among the great apes,
highest
you can
IQ.
actually look. For example,
people,
at
for
the
sure.
at the fingerprints on chimpanzees, which is a distant cousin to humans, and the
Yeah,
common
cool story,
ancestor
bro.
that we held under.
Look,
That's not a story. It's you can observe.
It's not.
You can observe. You can observe similar phenotypical attributes across animals. So therefore, we came from other animals because animals are similar, and we pretty much observe it.
Have you ever
Worldview that
looked at a chimpanzee?
Michelle Obama's an ape.
Ice Bean
That's
says you're right,
horrible.
Zephyr.
You're the one here calling.
I know
Michelle
I'm right.
Obama
It's
an
set
ape.
in stone.
Why did you bring up Michelle Obama?
But especially.
Oh, shit.
Also
No, I want to know why you brought up Michelle Obama specifically regarding grade apes. I want to understand.
Or we could
Help me
do
out.
George Floyd.
Levy, look in chat.
He looks like a
Hey,
The retards.
The story is he never got good, and he just kept getting
Stupid
beaten
fuckwit.
up.
Could you George Floyd?
I think you're just bringing up more
Is
racism.
George Floyd an ape?
I think you're
What? Why?
trying
Wait,
to be
whoa,
a racist.
whoa.
Race is
No,
a
George
social
Floyd was an
construct
ape.
that does not demarcate the boundaries.
Was a great ape.
Yeah, never forget, Razor. Just like 9/11. Never forget. And Kamagi Ray sells Zephyr.
What's a fucking race cell?
You're gonna have to watch the clip to find out.
Boundaries of selection. Well,
I'm
so
guessing
is
it's
the
a
difference
mixture of
between human
racist
beings and other
incel,
animals.
but
So
don't quote me on
the entailment of evolution is much worse than just the concept of race. You know, just anything that,
That
looks
is
other
the
than
Kung
you.
Fu Joe.
Anything that you can dominate, anything that you could do away with that enhances your survival. Winner take all. Doesn't even have to be between humans. Just anything. It basically evolution. Any action that happens that ultimately has a selection advantage
From
is
Jim Bob's
you
chat
know,
is
there-
actually correct.
It's just descriptively what it is. There can't be anything wrong with it from the evolutionary view.
Oh, hold on. Everybody's an
Why are
ape
you
until it's
comparing
George
them to-
Floyd, right?
Well, they are all humans are a part of the great ape category. That's correct.
So
but,
all
but,
black
but
people,
specifically,
right?
you had to bring up black people in order to make it a racist implication. When I'm just
Whoa.
referring to all humans, so that would be white people, Asians,
It's not my worldview,
black,
bro.
brown, Aborigine.
Well, look, it's a fair
It's not
question.
my world
We don't hold
bro.
that view.
He says right after bringing up, like, specifically choosing the example of Michelle Obama. Yes, I do see you in the chat there, Kung Fu Joe. Your racist question is racist. How about that?
No, he himself is saying that evolution is racist. He is a racist, but somehow when someone else says that humans have descended from great apes, now he wants to take the side of, oh, are you saying that black people are apes? Like, bro, you are racist. The other person is not racist. Why are you acting as if you are not a racist and that the other side is racist?
Evolution has literally nothing to say about racism, so you can't actually say nothing racist about it according to evolution, because nothing is racist according to evolution. Racism is not an evolutionary concept.
This feels
I'm
like
not
it's
a
about to
racist.
become a thing because Midas here.
As-
Kung Fu Joe is
as a civilization, we must take extra measures to make sure Kung Fu Joe's bones are fossilized, because if future archaeologists discover him, it would set the study of human evolution back by like 2 million years. They were like, how could this troglodyte
Well,
still
to make sure
exist
he's
in the
cremated
year
after death,
2000? Like, just to avoid confusion for future archaeologists, we must make sure that Kung Fu Joe's isn't fossilized.
I'm not a racist, sorry. Christianity actually leads to more racism. Oh, god damn it.
Razor.
We're Orthodox. I'm Orthodox. We have a specific category for human beings, and it includes the way we are shaped and what we are capable of doing, and how we operate. And it's also there's metaphysics as well. But from an evolutionary view, him just saying that, yeah, we all come from, this thing, and, a fair question to ask them, it's not our view, it's their view. Fair question to ask them is how would you know if there's any living animals that you call humans today that are closer to our ancestors than other ones? Is there a way of knowing that? Now, notice that they'll argue, which is really the bedrock of evolution, is comparative anatomy. That's all their propaganda early on.
Comparative genetics
just
is
looking
what
at
I would
features
consider the
and going, well,
foundation
these
of
people are
evolution.
obviously closer to
Sure,
our ancestors
comparative
than
anatomy might have
us.
been the foundation early on because we didn't know about genetics, but once we discovered that genes exist and we can analyze them and compare them to other species and figure out rates of mutation and figure out approximate timelines of how long it might have taken two individuals to diverge over the course of time. Yeah, comparative genetics, what of it? Like, I don't understand what he's trying to get to in this question.
No, he thinks that some people are less evolved than other humans, which is like, it's not true. There is no less evolved and more evolved. You just change.
I mean, the first video we watched pretty much covered all that.
But genes don't prove shit either. Kung Fu Joe, you don't know what genes are. You don't know how genes work. Fucking retard.
Oh, this is almost like what happened last week. I can't help myself.
He keeps coming back. Dude, I don't know why. It's like, I don't know what. He has some kind of fetish. He has some kind of humiliation kink. He wants to be like just busted his head into.
No, he's just delusional enough to think he's always winning.
I don't give him that much credit. I think he has some kind of humiliation kink. He asks, how can you falsify evolution? I tell him how to falsify evolution. He doesn't accept that that would falsify evolution. I told him, you find an animal that does not have DNA and has existed on the planet. You find an animal that does not fit neatly in the evolutionary tree. And yes, evolution is a theory. It won't just be one evidence. You would need multiple evidence to kind of disprove evolution. But like, he refused. I gave him the evidence that he would need to disprove evolution, and he doesn't accept it.
Skill issue?
I mean, yeah.
That's
just find an organism on Earth that reproduces imperfectly and does not use DNA as its information carrying mechanism.
Yeah, Moon agrees with me.
Bro, and his argument is that you can't prove a negative, where it's like, it's not a negative, it is a contradiction. Like, you can't prove a negative position. You cannot prove a negative statement, but you can prove a negative position by showing contradictions in the positive position. And he can't do that. His cope is that it's unfalsifiable.
Proving a negative is not the same as disproving a positive, though, just to be clear.
Right. Yeah, he needs to disprove a positive, which is a better way of saying that. Yes. So yeah, find a unicorn, Joe. That's the exact point. You need to find that. You need to find a fucking unicorn.
Yeah. So
but you can't.
He needs
fucking retard.
He needs to demonstrate a counterexample to evolution, which is a form of life that has zero evidence of being related to any other form of life on this planet. If you can do that, then, feel free. But that's how you would go about disproving this otherwise extremely well evidenced through a multitude of different lines of evidence. This theory that is so well supported. All you gotta do is find one counterexample.
Dude, my favorite statement is that if there's alien species out there, even though they don't have DNA, they would likely have evolution. Like, evolution is that mathematically congruent with life.
By the way, macroevolution does make its way through the scientific method. You know what doesn't? God.
Who is Joe talking to? He's talking to all of us whitos.
Yeah, he's talking to the void, hoping it responds, and I've been charitable enough to give him that.
It's always fun shitting on Joe, so I don't mind.
Well, yeah, the whole God.
Especially like this, when he actually doesn't have any power, when I can just shit on him through chat. Like,
yeah, that's why I really like the example of the people that got the gene from the Denisovans to allow them to live in high altitudes without having any issues. Like, that pretty much takes God right out of the pocket when it comes down to humankind being what they are now. So I don't know how Joe deals with that. But
it's almost as if it's almost as if you stack enough adaptations on top of one another that eventually you'll get something that is fundamentally different from the thing that didn't have the adaptations.
Shockingly enough.
If that's just adaptation, Joe, then why didn't the people who came from the plains adapt to it?
No,
what
it's
would
not an adaptation,
what
it's
would
a
what did it
change.
require? Yeah, what would it require to make that adaptation? What would it require to make that adaptation?
Well, I'm saying we didn't even have it. We got it from another species of human or another species of hominid. So like even humans.
Denisovans, I want to say that they were part of genus Homo, but I need to look that up.
I don't believe they were.
Oh, actually, no. I recently remembered Denisovans were renamed. I gotta find Homolungi. So they were in fact part of genus Homo.
Okay. Yeah, but did God make Neanderthals and Denisovans and everything else? And if that's the case, were Adam
Homo
and Eve
naledi, Homo
supposedly?
neanderthalensis, Homolungi, all of the Homo erectus, like all of these different subspecies of genus, or not subspecies, species of genus Homo. God make all of those, or did he just put the fossils in the ground for us to find and see that, oh shit, these are actually really, really different from modern humans? What the fuck happened?
Something drastic happened.
Like
along the way.
either God is playing the greatest prank in the universe, or these
Or he
things
doesn't
actually existed.
Well, he is still the hide and seek champion of the universe.
True.
Back to Jim Bob.
By the way, I hope we can scrub this in the future.
Whatever. Mongolian,
Right.
it's all under
You
the
say
grade 8
Mongolian?
category.
Correct.
So,
right. So it's not
so
incorrect
it
for me
has
to
nothing
say.
to do with
It's not incorrect for me to say
it has
that
nothing
you
Where is the ape?
to do with a racist categorization. You're the one that's bringing in the racist category.
I'm being
Yes, you are.
consistent
You're
with
bringing
your
up the
view.
racist category.
No, I'm
you are
not.
bringing
Why
up
is
the
it
racist
racist?
category. Well, because
It's
you
not my
decided to
worldview.
bring up two black
Dude,
people
stop spurging.
as like
Hold
an
on.
Look, what do you?
Ice Beans, I would
What
be
are
honored.
you under the assumption
add
that
you as editor.
even if racism was alive and well, First Amender, from an evolutionary view, couldn't it be the case that being racist, whatever group you prefer or not prefer, couldn't it be the case that from an evolutionary view that could be selected for as an advantage? They don't like this question either. They never want to answer that question.
Could be selected for the
Okay,
fact
I
that
don't
it
know. Can
hasn't
racism?
tell you something.
Exactly.
Like it's not as if racism is a new thing. It's been around for, thousands of years in different forms. It wouldn't have been called racism, but more or less the same thing. The fact that it hasn't been selected for, and in fact has been selected against by all accounts, given the drastic shift in viewpoint towards things like slavery. Yeah,
you got a point there. It says American is apple pie.
Which is Dutch.
Cannot mess with you. Oh, Might is going off.
In the way you understand it, be
Mine
selected
does nothing
for?
else.
No, I'm not spurting. I'm just pointing out that you're just being a racist.
Why can't you
Anyway,
let me
so
talk?
I
Why
wanted
are
to
you
go over
building
some of this stuff that you have here,
building-
right?
no,
Rather
no,
than
wait,
sticking
wait,
the
I wasn't done
nonsense
with my-
argument that you have
Hold
in your
on,
racist
stop,
position.
stop.
I'm not
You're
going to
accusing me of
entertain
being
your
racist.
racism. Yeah,
No,
because
you're
you're
not.
a racist. You're being racist.
It's a little different because when
completely
we're
worthless.
here,
I'm
So
going to
let-
ask
let
you
me ask
very
you a
simple.
Oh, this is
question.
great. This is great.
See,
This is how I know Kung Fu Joe watches
that's
me. This is key. He brings up the whiteboard and the
Yeah,
scientific.
because Jim Bob, the only retard
scientific
who makes
method.
such retarded points.
A complete knife to
So
the
literally, it
jugular
all
of the
stems from him.
evolution proponent.
Also, I want to point out that Kung Fu Joe's written version of the scientific method is incorrect because there is a point at which you branch from hypothesis. It can go to experiment or it can go to observation, because it turns out observation exists at multiple points in the scientific method. This is how we do pretty much anything in astronomy, for instance.
Ancom, I so wanted to say that because last week we got to a point where we were kind of discussing the scientific method, and I'm like, there is no linear scientific method. Observations happen at every step. You can make an experimentation at any step. It's not. It's like something we teach to first graders to kind of give them an idea. And Joe is like literally has the brain of a first grader when it comes to the scientific method. And
you don't need a hypothesis to craft an experiment. You can just
Yep.
be like, I wonder what happens if I do this. A hypothesis suggests that you have an idea of what might happen as a result of an experiment. But you can go into an experiment and be like, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. Let's see. I would argue that's how most experimentation is done.
I agree. And Kung Fu Joe says you're a moron.
Of course he does.
No, if he could just show, like, the reason he has to assert these things because he knows he didn't win the debate, or he knows that Ancom is way more intelligent than him. Therefore, he has to assert it, because if it actually comes down to proof or evidence, he'd lose like 11 times out of 10.
Oh, the one guying is going on. It's so good.
I'm good with it. Kung Fu Joe is there to be shat on. Kung Fu Joe is literally the human version of a landfill. You just dump on him nonstop. I don't feel bad about throwing trash in a landfill unless it's like non-compostable. For that, there's Kung Fu Joe. For all the non-compostable trash.
I vote we replace the WHIP project to store nuclear waste material. Replace that with Kung Fu Joe's mouth. We'll be good.
For whale milk and
whale milk. Oh God.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
I happen to have faith that my senses are accurate, as opposed to your faith, which is based on not even senses, just nothing at all.
Works either. So listen,
I have a great palate
let's go
cleanser
into
for
a
after this.
very
You'll love it.
specific
Zephyr.
example, right? You wear
do
the Pacacetus, maybe?
Hey, we got the Pacacetus.
He doesn't know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Google. Whiteboard.
Are you
time.
aware of the Pacacetus?
Yes.
Yes. What is it?
Okay, what is it?
Isn't that like the that's the one with the
It's a land.
That's the one with the bones and the
Based on the bones.
Is that the one with the blood and circulatory system that eats things? Is that the one that needs air, or
based on the bones,
what is that?
future archaeologists will find Kung Fu Joe's bones and conclude that humanity actually did not evolve, and that the timeline of evolution is weirder than they previously thought. Joe and Jim Bob's bones will throw the entire human evolution theory into jeopardy. To save the future of science, I'm telling you, we must try not getting their bones fossilized.
This is so brutal.
That's let me think. Oh, it's so. I haven't.
Whoops.
Land-based animal that's about the size of a wolf, and it was said to be
that's
the
the whale.
predecessor to the whale,
predecessor.
right?
Oh yeah, predecessors of the whale. Kung Fu, you should have said the wrong one. You should have said the wrong thing. He would have repeated you. But this is the famous fossil, a groundbreaking fossil of Pacacetus. That is the closest thing that we know to a dragon monkey. One-horned dragon monkey. Yeah, he would have been like, yeah, no, I totally remember that.
Okay, great. Now, see, what I have
Yeah, that would presume that Kung Fu Joe has like a brain
I do too. I have a little
for him to
step-by-step
make that type of argument.
Scientific method, right?
Oh,
Now, I want
unfortunately, he has a
you
fish
to take
in his
us
head.
through the scientific method of how a Pacacetus gets to a whale.
Now, Kung Fu Joe, I love your approach here. Just straight up tell him, walk him through it. But a more brutal way against someone like First Amender is to first ask him.
Which is Leaky Paws.
Evolution.
Which is this question is how we know that Kung Fu Joe actually lacks actual like consciousness, like memory, registration, whatever the fuck that is needed to be an actual human. Is that we had this exact same discussion less than 2 days before that debate, and nothing registered. I told him that you have transitional species. If you're talking from A to B, you have transitional species where you have something like a dog or a wolf. Then you have a dog or wolf with webbed feet. Then eventually they transform into something like a sea lion, then into something like a seal, and then from seal to dolphin to whale. Like that's how that chart would go. And the reason we know that is because all those intermediate life forms exist today. All those niches were required in the evolutionary or in the history of the planet. Therefore, those transitionary species still exist. You don't need to go back in time and find the right fossil. You can literally look at life forms as they exist today, and you will be able to find their what's the word, like their parallel of those sort of transitionary species.
Now he wants to know how many transitional species.
It's a spectrum, Joe, you fucking retard. There's no how many. It's how much you need to transition to go from one step to the next. That's it.
Enough to get to us. Good one, Razor.
He's doing that Futurama meme where he was like, "Oh, we've got species A, species C, and there's species B in the middle." And they're like, "Oh, but where's species D and E that go between B and C?" And then you find it. And they're like, "Oh, but where's the species between all these other species that you found?" And then you find it. And they're like, "Oh, where are all these species between?" It's like, there is no answer. You can't find every single fossil. At what point do you fucking accept that eventually, yes, there's gonna be transitional species everywhere between point A and B?
He won't accept it until you find every single fossil of every single animal that existed between.
No, he won't accept it. That's not his argument. He won't accept because that has been done. You find these life forms existing today.
The problem is fossilization doesn't preserve that many transitional species. So like,
no, at some point,
we can't have every single individual in that evolution chain.
No, Ancom, my point is that even if you find a mother and the child, he would ask, "Where's the fetus?" That's how retarded he is. Like, there is no point arguing about transition fossils with them because they're literally, we know it's a spectrum. It's not like 1, 2, 3. It is 1, 1.1, 1.2, and like just keep breaking it down.
Yeah, it's Loki's wager.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I come to on that.
If you're elitist,
they want to
East
play
Coast
Loki's wager
evolution is
with
real.
transitional
Why has
species.
no one found the missing link between modern humans and ancient apes?
We did find it. It's called Homo erectus.
Then you have proven my case, sir. For no one has found the link between apes and this Homo erectus.
Yes, they have. It's called Homo habilis.
Aha! But no one has found the missing link between ape and the so-called Homo habilis.
Yes, they have. It's called Australopithecus africanus.
Oh, I've got you now. Fair enough. But where, then, is the missing link between apes and this Darwinius Macilli? Answer me that, Professor.
Exactly. That's what we're doing.
And Joe is the literal ape in that particular scenario without the degree and the doctorate. An ape that has been given the power of language. That's what Joe is. Nothing more.
So what we're saying is orangutans are even smarter than Joe. I agree.
Orangutans with the power of language would be smarter than Joe, yes.
No. Orangutans as they are today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do think that orangutans perform better in their ecosystem and their niche than Joe does in his ecosystem. So,
I just want to see Joe do that song from the Jungle Book, "Man's Red Flower," whatever it was. No, I can't remember the name of the song now.
Is it the King Louis song? Which one?
Yeah, King Louis song.
What are the
Joel is doing the meme. Joel is doing the meme. Dude, you can't write this shit. He literally is saying that, it makes sense in the future. They're making fun of people like you fucking retard. Is that we've already found these links.
The song I'm thinking of is literally called "I Want to Be Like You," so that just makes it so much more relevant.
It hits. I'm not gonna front.
evolution makes its way through the scientific method. It is, in fact, the scientific theory. Of course it does. Then you go, First Amender, what's the scientific method? If you want to look, this is like cheap scoring points. I'm giving you advice for cheap
Yep, that's the
optic
song.
disasters.
Love that song.
Go ahead.
How a Pakicetus gets to
What's
a
the
whale?
observation? Yeah.
I mean,
See, you know what?
I would have to look at like the bones itself and
Based on the
see
bones,
what
as you can see by
similarities exist.
Okay, so you observe the
We have
bones.
found the links, Joe.
Fossils where it would
Fuck.
exist
See, you can't even get them to say one observation.
versus not exist. But I'm
See, he just goes into the whole Spurgeon thing. Dude, it's one question. What's the observation? Okay, bones.
not an expert or an expert biologist in the field. I simply can just read what other people
I
have
just
discovered.
read.
and
Just
move
lets me
on.
know that this
I just
evolution
say-
debate is
But
going
like,
to continue
so
raging on.
I'm going to ask.
Look, I don't really need to understand anything I'm defending tonight. I just need to read and memorize what I've been told to say, and that is good enough for me.
Let me
very
ask you a different
simple.
question.
I'm going to
No, no,
ask
no.
you very simple. No, hold on. I'm going to ask you very
no.
simple. Why do we observe changes across the geologic epochs of time?
We don't observe changes. You're confusing variation with changes. It's another slippery thing that these people do.
What is the difference between variations and changes when it comes down to gene expression? Would a redhead not be a change? Would blue eyes not be a change?
See, that's the thing, is everything that Joe calls adaptation, it fits the definition of evolution as a change in genetic frequency over successive generations. Literally it. So, microevolution, macroevolution, all the evolutions fit in.
Why do-
If it fits into that category, it is evolution. Ooh, looks like Razor wants in on this sausage fest.
Oh, here we go. Bring it in, Razor.
See,
This is a replay of last week, I swear to God.
Leafy, I'm gonna send you something here. I want you to pull this up because I think this is a far superior example of the scientific method than what Joe has.
I'll just bring it up.
Yep. Just bring it up, I'll go through it.
It's going to be a chart, isn't it?
It's always a chart.
It is. Of course it's a chart. But the point is,
There's also the graphs.
so you make observation, you think of questions, you formulate hypotheses. Although, I don't actually, I do not contend that's a necessary part of this, because again, you can still do the I wonder what happens if I do this with no hypothesis whatsoever. But then, rather than experimentation, this is where I like this one more than Joe's. It says develop testable predictions. A testable prediction need not be an experiment. It can simply be, if I look at this thing under these conditions, I don't control the conditions, especially when we're talking about something like astronomy. I think this thing might happen. And then you make the observation. Did that thing happen? Yes. Okay. Then your prediction was correct. What does that bring you to next? And you keep doing that over and over and over. You make new observations. You make new predictions. You gather more data to test those predictions. You refine all of these things into a general theory, which then allows you to make more observations to test that theory. And it is a cyclical process that has a lot of different steps, and they don't have to be experiments. That's the main thing.
If I'm having it correct, basically that developing testable prediction part also works when it comes to evolution, especially because the testable prediction will be, if I am right about dinosaurs or some plant or some organic matter dying around this time, there will be oil here. That's usually how it goes.
That's actually how we found Tiktaalik. the existence of Tiktaalik was hypothesized before we ever found it, and it was that prediction of its existence, and specifically where we might find it based on when and where we believed it to have lived, based on, you know, the relatives that we believed it to be connected to. That led us right to the fossil of Tiktaalik, and then we were able to use the data from that fossil, genetic and morphological evidence, to confirm, yes, it was in fact connected to all of these other creatures that we thought it was.
I think the big thing I'm seeing here from Joe, other than that he's completely brain dead at this point, is that he legitimately thinks that the scientific method is across the board like a mechanical thing, like when you build a machine and then you do an experiment on that machine to then be sure that it works. He thinks that every single part of science is like that. That's not the thing, Joe. Stop being stupid. That's at this point, it's natural for you to be stupid. Go ahead and continue. We'll continue to laugh.
Yep.
Gucci.
Go ahead.
By the way, before we start, I just want to point out that Joe thinks that testing is not experiment. That's how retarded he is.
Thank you. That's the other thing.
You use the word testing because this diagram doesn't use the word experiment. It used the word testing. He thinks where's the experiment?
Testing is experiments. Like, why do you think we're doing with medicine? You dumb fuck.
But yeah, what exactly do you think an experiment is, Joe?
I have to be able to taste it, or else it's not real. Let me go ahead and grab that uranium.
Where's the chemical formula for evolution? Damn it! What do you need to mix to have evolution? Have you ever made it in a lab?
I would say category error, but he doesn't understand what that means.
He doesn't. He's like, there's so many things he doesn't understand. Though, like I said it earlier, and you responded well, that he doesn't understand what actual faith means. When he goes based off of his religious faith, which is a completely separate definition from what you're actually using, it does something to my head that makes me violent, but I hold it back because I'm a sane individual, unlike Joe.
No.
Oh, Nair's video DM. Oh my god.
You make me happy.
Oh god. I can't. Nair, you are truly the chosen one. What would we do without you? That is so fucked up.
And I think the biggest problem, then I will start up and we'll go back, and then we go back to watching the video. But I think the biggest issue along all this, when it comes to Joe, people like Jim Bob, Andrew, and all of them, that blows my mind is that no matter how much info you give them, no matter how much data you show, no matter how much you give, it is, again, like that ape from Futurama. Aha, I've got you now. And they'll never move because it literally is the whole faith thing. The fact that we give them any attention is purely for our amusement at this point. That's the only reason why we keep giving them attention.
Y'all are amused? I'm sitting here with headaches. Thanks a lot.
Look, one man's amusement, another man's headache. I'm sorry, but
Joe, the type of retard who would say, if evolution happens, why is there still an ape in Futurama 1,000 years into the future?
I also don't think he understands. I also don't think he understands how the evolutionary tree works. They're called branches. One part evolves and becomes a separate thing, while the thing that it came from stays. It's a branch.
Some trees are wreaths.
True.
All right. So a few more minutes of this, and then palate cleanser, and then I will end stream because, yeah, we can only have so much fun in a night.
They go, look at the variation, and then they, in the next sentence, they say, look at the changes. Look at the changes.
In the ground.
Yeah, look at the changes.
followed
What's
by
wrong with
great
that?
extinction events followed by
I am.
smaller,
I'm gonna do pop
simpler
quizzes from now on.
creatures. Why? What is that?
What is that? I thought, I don't know. First Amendment, I was under the impression that you're the affirmative in this debate. Is evolution real? You're saying it is. Your argument is, hey, all of these variations we see, you tell me, what is that? What is that?
How do you?
I don't know. What is that?
Yeah, so why can't the side against evolution explain what the variations are? Because even they admit that adaptations are real, which would logically conclude that variations are real. So it is fair to ask to people like Kung Fu Joe and Jim Bob, what is causing those variations? Or what are those variations?
Yeah, now the way they characterize the question, like literally it's a question to see if you understand the material that's being put forward to you. It's not that he's actually asking the question like he needs to know.
The thing is, like, I hate them arguing the meta, where it's like, oh, you took the affirmative, you took the negative, therefore this question. It's like, it's a perfectly valid question. You're looking at the surface level meta. You're not looking at the deeper level meta of you are also taking a stance. You are against evolution. You are not agnostic. You're not show me, teach me. No, you're standing against evolution. Therefore, you're going to have to show proof for why or that contradicts the proof against evolution.
Have you considered nuh-uh?
I have considered it, and therefore, that's why I'm like, yeah, Kung Fu Joe is like, anytime there's Kung Fu Joe on, it's like, it's going to be a dog pile. I have considered the nuh-uh.
I think you were right, Zephyr. He definitely has a fetish for it. I go on FetLife a lot, and there's some fucking weirdos on. There's some weirdos on there who, unironically, be sitting in a comment section like saying, "Please, hot women and hot men, please insult me." Like they're literally asking for it. It's consensual, at least on FetLife. For him, it's just.
Yeah, but he's a Christian, so he can't do that. Therefore, he has to let it out in some other ways and
exactly
do philosophy and evolution debates.
The symbiosis of it all.
Hey, look! As long as if he pays me $50, I'll do it on command.
Joe, become a leftist, and I will spit on you in your face directly. You won't even have to ask.
Just pay me $50 an hour. I will do it for you. I'll spit on you. I'll kick you in the
spit in your
balls.
mouth.
You obviously want that. Like seriously.
God. This has devolved. Hey, things can devolve. Holy.
Woo.
All right.
Ooga boonga, yeah.
Transitionary.
No, they're not transitionary. That's an event, bruh. Transition is an event. There's no event in a fossil.
Yes,
you don't witness an event.
It
in a fossil.
happens.
And a fossil that gives an example of that event would be called transitionary. A transition, yes, is a noun. It is an event. Transitionary is an adjective. It describes something. Holy fuck, Jim Bob.
At least they're consistent on their hatred of. At least they're consistent on their hatred of transition.
True.
Or
No, they're counter to transitionary thought.
Grammar, but no, fair.
Remind me, Razor, remind me, wasn't there a point where Kung Fu Joe was saying that there is no such thing as transition when it comes to evolution, which is fair because an animal, like, there's no controlling mechanism that says a Pakicetus will definitely turn into a whale. We call it transition because the argument as it's laid out is that how did the Pakicetus become the whale? And therefore we have to invoke transition. Whereas
I believe he did. And Joe, sorry, I don't really smoke cigarettes all that much, but I don't know how everyone else is. Please.
Sorry, Razor. Ignore that retard.
Yeah. So, anytime you want to smoke, I don't smoke. I don't smoke. Like I slap R words, but I don't. Please.
All right.
Transition. Hold on. We observe things that.
We got to get to the moment.
Here's a good way of. That's a really good way of categorizing this. If you guys are listening, if Kung Fu Joe sees this,
There you
You
go.
have to get the other person to properly categorize what he's calling transition. Ask him if transition itself is that an event happening in time. Yeah, right. Change.
So what
That's
does that
something
mean?
happens in
Lizzie, you're
time.
gonna have to explain. What does this
And
mean?
then you go,
Transition is an
a
event.
fossil an
Transition is an
A
event.
transition is an event like that.
Like,
that much
sure,
makes
but like,
sense to me.
yeah, but like, how does that relate to evolution? Like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is
He
the
was
larger?
Saying, he was saying a fossil is transitionary, and he was saying, how can a fossil be an event? And that's not what First Amenders even saying. Here. He's saying,
Do they actually
that
think that?
fossil is an example of the event that occurred. It is the evidence that the event occurred, because newsflash, events usually have evidence for them to have happened.
Dude,
Dude, that's like
my God,
asking.
they think it's like Garfield. They think it's like Garfield from Teen Titans.
Like, we found the pyramids in Egypt. Would we say like the pyramids are an event?
So I said Garfield. I meant it's Beast Boy. If you don't know
Beast
who
Boy is
I'm gonna think.
Garfield.
Yeah, I was I get that. I'm just like, who calls him Garfield? But like,
I do because of Young Justice.
Fair enough.
I'll forgive you
okay,
for
but
that.
I'm like, no one in Teen Titans ever called him. That's not true. Occasionally, you would hear that as his name, but
Well,
fair
usually
enough.
they said Goro, but I'm not in this.
I'm thinking of Young Justice. So yeah.
No, Joe, you're going to have to define what you mean as transition. If transition is what are you just using the word transition for change, then sure.
And by the way, Joe, just pay me like $500. I'll let you. Okay, you don't have that. You don't have to constantly ask in these weird fucking like metaphors or something. If you want to smoke my pole, fucking $100. You're good.
We went from 500 to 100 in a sentence, bro. What the fuck?
What up, Riff?
He gets every time he gets stupider. The stupider he gets, the more I add on.
He does not have the IQ to have $100 spare. You know, like
a transition is the event. The transitionary fossil is the evidence of that event.
Yeah. But again, they legitimately think that when you say the transition event, they legitimately think it's the same as Beast Boy transforming from.
No,
from
he's asking. It's the assumption of what might have happened. No, it's what happened based on the evidence. Now, the idea could be wrong, but that will only be demonstrated to be the case when new evidence is found to disprove the old idea. Like,
I swear, if I was staying up
scientific-
another
He
2 hours,
doesn't know. He doesn't know what fallacies are. He doesn't. Oh my God. He don't know how begging the question works. Sorry.
I still don't understand. Like, what the fuck does he mean by transition in this context? Like, when an animal has an adaptation and it. I'm sorry, Razor. Go ahead. Repeat what you just said.
It's more than likely that he legitimately thinks it's shapeshifting. Like when he thinks that when we say transitionary fossils or transitionary periods, we're thinking that he thinks that we're talking about shapeshifting, like we're going from one to the other like that. That's not.
Okay, here's my issue. The word transition only works in the context of when you have defined like the starting point and the ending point. But when during evolution, when the animal's actually going through adaptations and changes, there is like it's not transitioning into something. Like it is just adapting to the environment that it needs to survive in.
Yes, but we're talking about this in the context of linking two species. One from the past, one in later.
Yeah, but then the fossil is just like.
We're just saying that the fossil is an example of a species that existed in the evolutionary line between the ancient species that we're looking at and the current species that we have, or the later species that we're looking at.
Right, like the fossil is a snapshot of a slice of time.
Yes.
The fossil itself is not going to transition into anything.
No.
So he thinks that when he says transitionary fossil
is begging the question. The problem is we call it that after we found it. We weren't begging the question. We said, well, if species A had an evolutionary path that transitioned into species B at some point or some point later in time, then maybe we'll find a fossil of something that existed along that transitionary path. And then we found that thing and called it a transitionary fossil because we predicted it to exist, and hey, it existed. How about that?
So,
Unlike
Joe,
God, we can't predict shit.
Joe, human bones that will be found in the future will be considered transitionary fossils between great apes versus whatever we become in the future.
I mean, technically speaking, every human skeleton we have of a person that has died is technically a transitionary fossil.
Every single fossil is technically a transitionary fossil.
True, and there's modern evidence of that in the fact that recent science has found that our thumbs are actually longer than they were in the past. So we're probably going to have even longer thumbs, and a lot of and most scientists assume that it's because of our smartphones. It's easier and quicker to type away on it if you have a longer thumb.
Or the fact that, and we don't know, we don't even have a good hypothesis, as far as I know, of why this is happening. Our body temperatures seem to be getting lower over generations.
Yeah,
like,
that is weird.
The average body temperatures of the silent generation were like half a degree above the average body temperature of Gen Z, roughly a century apart.
Oh,
like our body temperatures literally
again,
going.
Joe, you don't know what unfalsifiable means. Stop using the word.
Yeah, Kung Fu Joe, transition works when you've defined a starting point and an end point. If there's no definition, then yes, all fossils are transitionary because all species are going through evolution at all times. If you have a starting point and an ending point, then you can say that these fossils that between species A and species B, these were the animals that existed in between, therefore we'll call them transitionary. But either all fossils are transitionary or no fossils are transitionary.
The reason why
In
Joe
absolutes.
thinks this is an L for him is that he is so dug in on the concept of individual transitionary fossils, and it just demonstrates the fact that he does not understand the most basic fundamental ideas in the theory of evolution. Like, you think it's a point against us because you don't understand it.
It's why I say he doesn't know what an internal critique means whenever he tries to apply. It's an internal critique of your worldview.
Poisoning
No.
That's not
Poisoning the
internal,
well.
That's just a critique. An internal
At home.
critique would be you critiquing orthodox. That would be an internal critique.
Yeah.
And just to put it in simple language.
All right, wrong.
It's weird every time.
Trans in the fossil kids.
Every time Leafy mentions that I'm going to wrap up the screen. Sorry, go ahead.
In
Dan.
simple language, an internal critique is when someone who believes a thing criticizes the thing. That's it.
No,
Well,
Rip Haven. The median has gone down by a degree. Is he a retard too? I don't know who Rip Haven is.
It's
No.
the
Rip is good.
an internal critique majority of the time, and this is how I've always seen it done because I watch a lot of Deconstruction Zone. Someone who is a biblical scholar, he knows the Bible front and back and the religion that he grew up in, so he knows it front and back, upside down, and leftwise, sideways from both the Hebrew and Greek. He's able to do an internal critique of the faith. So that's what So when I hear internal critique, is because it's supposed to be you understand the arguments that the other side has, and you internally critique it from within that
He's
viewpoint.
not a
So if
real
you
Christian,
well, God,
Razor. He's not a real Christian.
I know that, but still, I know Joe isn't, but like at least with Justin, he was an actual like pastor who did his most of his work. He's now like in his something 40s. He went through seminary, actually understands how things work, while Joe is just Joe.
Joe is definitely Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, internal critique is something he doesn't understand, but he continues to say that he's doing an internal critique of us because he thinks he understands evolution. He doesn't. He still as Ancom said, he legitimately thinks that he goes by an individual evolution and not what evolution actually says, which is a change of populations. over
Pastor of
multiple
a fake
generations.
church. Joe's going in.
Is Joe self-admitting?
Oh yeah, Joe like tried to be a pastor of a fake church. Did you not know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was trying to be a pastor. I didn't know that, he has any charisma whatsoever.
Disciple of a fake religion, like so many before them.
Yeah, Joe. I thought everyone knew at this point. It's all been a bit. He's not actually. He's not actually an
Wait,
Orthodox.
Leti. Ancom
not
type
actually
Gen Z, and that counted as a crash out, bro. That's nice. You gotta make some. You gotta make a more sophisticated bot than that.
But no, you gotta be sure. You gotta be. You gotta remember, this has been a bit this entire time. Joe's not even actually Orthodox. He's just actually stupid and uses Orthodox as a reason to continue to be stupid.
Well, he
doesn't believe shit.
He's a catechumen.
Possibly.
He's a cat acumen?
Yes.
He studies cats? What?
Catechumen. I forgot what that. I know that word, but I forgot the fucking meaning. Fuck.
Basically, he's an initiate into the Orthodox religion.
He's going deep with this lie. Okay, cool.
Like, I've heard of a catechism, but not a catechumen.
Yeah, he's a catechumen.
Yeah, he's going deep with the lie. That's what it is.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like the Orthodox version of like in Judaism, where you have to spend like 6 months learning the religion before they'll let you actually convert.
Yeah, be turned away 3 times thing, stuff like that.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Right.
That is it. All right, so last couple minutes.
An event. He has to say no. A fossil's not an event. It's an object.
That possess similar features to a multitude of.
Haven't you called fossils events before? No, a fossil is an object. The fossilization is an event. Fossilization, the product of fossil isn't the event, but fossilization is an event. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's what finding a fossil would be evidence of, the process of fossilization. In fact, proper scientific methodology would be, I observe a fossil regardless of what it looks like. I ask the question, how was it preserved like this? What caused this preservation status that it's in? What's this condition it's in? What causes the condition it's in? And then you could replicate it. And then
he's saying we need to replicate fossilization. Tell me if I'm tripping.
He does. That's the way that Joe's understanding works as well. Like, he gets it from Jim Bob, so it obviously makes sense. People like this legitimately think that the scientific method needs to be exactly the same across the board, which means he thinks there needs to be replication of the fossils in order to prove that fossils are a thing.
The thing is, our understanding of fossilization is strong enough that if we wanted to, we could fossilize something. But it's still gonna, based on modern technology, it's still gonna take like a few thousand years before we actually observe the fossil at the end. Because it is inherently a slow process.
Yeah, probably what would happen is that future scientists will fossilize a key part of our history. And have it set in place so that future scientists millennia down the line can find it and go, oh, it was like that back then. Like, it'll be something similar to
that. Joe, if we can make a fossil in 2 weeks, I'm sure we can do that. Like, how do you know we can make a fossil in 2 weeks and then say that fossilization cannot be observed?
Yeah, no.
How do you know that a fossil could be made in 2 weeks at that point?
Yeah, no, he obviously didn't think that it's a fossil well, he does think it's a fossil, but he doesn't understand how it works. He's thinking of petrification, something that Kent Hovind constantly does. Those whole acorns in a bucket, the boot, those are petrified, not fossilized. There's a difference.
There you go.
Those are not fossilized, or petrified.
Yeah, so if you can make a chicken bone into a fossil in 2 weeks, then what's the problem?
So
we know
not fossilization, petrification.
Fair
what he's
enough.
talking about. It's petrification.
Yeah, fair enough. But But in his worldview, because he likes to do an internal critique, I'm doing an internal critique of his worldview.
Oh, that's fair.
If you admit that a chicken bone can be turned into a fossil in 2 weeks, then what is the holdup about fossilization? You admit that you can't fossilize something in 2 weeks, then why are you hung up on fossilization? Why are you saying that? Why are you taking the anti-position and then giving evidence to the pro-position?
Okay, I'm gonna run straight to the palate cleanser after this. I was gonna get into the
Fair enough.
dojo and all that other fun stuff. I'm going
It's weird how when Leti says that I'm gonna wrap it up is when the actual debate starts.
Right.
like Joe's right there, or we're gonna keep laughing at this fucker. Jim, and he's basically just a clone of Jim Bob. At this, a far inferior clone of Jim Bob. At least Jim Bob was able to hold on to his viewpoints while still being stupid, but he's able to hold a lot of his shit. He's fuck.
Ready for the funny?
Please. Oh, this guy. I know this.
June 14th at 4:23 a.m. The eldritch entity known as Pantalagon emerged from his spectral sarcophagus and rained chaos upon the entire northern continent, including the territories of Schemed. Eyewitnesses claim that the stars were blotted out in an unholy darkness as blood rained from the skies and fire erupted from the deep. The resulting epic of pandemonium and terror was thereafter known as the Great Thaumacism.
This is so messed up.
Jagrophilius holofernes.
Gonna cause this shit.
I think Ancom will enjoy this too.
I'm watching.
Come in. Sorry about the wait. It's literally hell on earth out there. Can I get you anything? You all right? Maybe water or maybe a flagon of ale?
Could I have a mana potion?
Nah, bro.
No.
This is Lieutenant Braunwick Kettlecap, lead investigator of the Thistlewood Town Guard. He was a volunteer man-at-arms in the Battle of Timid Kings and has an impressive record of over 14 convictions and 25 beheadings. During our examination of this footage, we will be analyzing the interrogation tactics used by the guardsmen, as well as the overall behavior and psychology of the suspect in question.
You've been a busy wizard. Possession of an unregistered homunculus. Astral projection in a restricted dimension. Possession of chaos crystals with intent to distribute.
I had no intention of sharing those. Those were for me.
Nice, Ancom.
Granting sentience to a flammable object.
Oh, so my joke about Joe actually.
And you
falls short of my
pirated
plot.
a sea shanty. That's quite the rap sheet.
Don't forget melting a pig.
Melting. I didn't see that here. Uh-oh.
This is Trismegistus Conethorpe, also known as the Wizard Magius, disgraced member of the Round Council. Already on probation with the Shadowstar Alliance and wanted by the Mad King for crimes against insanity, he's about to find himself in some seriously hot cauldron water.
I've been watching Uru Body Cam for the past few weeks.
Anti-magic manacles,
Just
pal.
so hearing this
Not
voice
gonna
do
work.
this is hilarious.
Oh, it's magic.
You have the right to remain silent. You have waived the right to cast silence. Where were you on the night of the third moon cycle?
I think I was in my tower doing a potion.
What's that?
I don't know. I've never seen that before.
We've found this in your bag of holding.
I was holding that bag of holding for a friend.
It's the Obama Nomicon. want to be 12 forbidden tomes.
Am I under arrest?
Look at the body language here. Notice how the cone of his head is angled away from the investigator. Already a
Body
clear
language
sign of
analyst.
discomfort.
We
This
needed the
wizard is
palate
nervous.
cleanser after that.
To Magius, my partner in crime. Happy 423rd, my man. Signed, Oblivicus the Shadowmancer.
I mean, I'm 424, so that really could be anybody. Named Magius.
Look, possession of something like this alone could land you in prison for a long time.
Please,
In
no
prison?
prison can hold me.
No, not prison. Prism.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That can hold
That
you.
could hold me.
Prism is jail for wizards.
Lot of dark magic in here. Power word peel. Shrink helmet.
Oh, God.
Slurt. It's got
Ah.
slurt.
Slurt?
I mean, these
What is
spells are all
slurt?
super illegal.
I wouldn't know. I don't know what those are.
That sounds like
What's
a.
decapistrate?
Sounds horrible.
If I had to guess. And your
Like a
position
combination of
at the same
decapitate
time.
and
But
defenestrate?
again, I really wouldn't know because I don't know what that is.
What about glory portal?
Oh, God. Oh,
Glory
no.
Portal. A 5th level conjuration spell that summons a tomato-sized portal to the suction dimension at waist height. The portal lasts about 1.5 to 6 minutes, or until the caster is done using it. The spell requires concentration.
Yo, let me get that spell.
I wouldn't even begin to know what that is, or why anyone would use cast that spell.
Really? Because you bookmarked it right here.
I've never seen that bookmark in my life.
The guard
Neither.
is getting nowhere,
I know,
and
I
we
need
now
that-
need to apply
I need that
pressure
spell.
using a number
I
of
need that spell for my next
sophisticated
D&D campaign.
psychological techniques from his investigative tool belt.
Like that? Like the big pliers on your hand? Okay, here's a hot poker.
Allowing the pliers to remove the suspect's
Okay.
fingernails, and also jamming a hot poker into his head, the investigator has subtly changed the atmosphere of the room, ever so
Subtly.
slightly
Subtly.
increasing the chances of a confession.
Okay, fine, fuck, it's mine. Ah!
All right, good. Now we're getting somewhere. So what is it you do exactly for the Round Council?
Paperwork? I'm basically a glorified scribe.
Really? Because it says here that you're in charge of a pretty important artifact. A Tharxian warding crystal?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I mean, we have ways of finding out.
Okay, like you have the mana to cast Cone of Truth. But you legally have to tell me if you're casting Cone of Truth. That's the law.
This is false. A deputized Teravian guardsman is legally allowed to use deception when casting Cone of Truth. However, he would technically also be inside the Cone of Truth, and would therefore be unable to lie. But if he could, he would totally be allowed, legally speaking. But most guardsmen would just put a hot iron in his pee hole.
So, it'd be pretty bad if something happened to your artifact, right?
I mean, nothing happened. But even if something did, I think it'd be fine.
It would not be fine.
It would not
There
be
are exactly
fine.
8 Tharxian warding crystals, each placed at the top of a tower, guarded by the highest-ranking wizards of the Round Council. These towers are perfectly positioned to form a gargantuan magic circle. When activated, this circle forms an arcane bond strong enough to seal the spectral sarcophagus at its center, entombing the great demon lord Pentalagon.
That
If
sounds
even one
horrific.
of the crystals were to be destroyed, or simply removed from its tower, the spell would be broken and Pentalagon would be free to bring about the Thaumacism.
I'm gonna guess that
Yeah.
happened.
Probably nothing bad. And you're sure nothing accidentally happened to it? Yep. Because a lot can happen in a wizard's tower. A stray spell knocks into a cauldron, golem steps on it, I don't know, falls into a hole. It wouldn't fall into a hole. How about sucked into a hole?
God damn it!
Razor nailed it.
I don't even know why you would ask that, because mine is completely safe. All the way up at the top of my tower.
I'm gonna drop. Take care, guys. Good night.
Have a good night, Z.
Found that in the suction dimension.
Oh wait, did he leave?
Really only one way it could have ended up there.
Say, when does he want me to set up his debate with Kung Fu Joe?
How do you think that happened?
I don't know. Could have been like a glory portal.
What?
Could have been
Probably a
like
glory portal.
Huh.
Oh my god! Are
Maybe.
you seriously suggesting that I'm some sort of vile pervert who would summon an illegal portal to a realm of infinite suction of unlimited torque? Just so I can what? Just jam my little wizard dingus in there, get my magic rocks off, and in the process, I maybe accidentally made the portal a little too big, made it a little too strong.
that's not-
Sucked up all my magic shit, including my artifact, because that did not happen.
That's exactly what happened.
Hey, what
Shortly
happened?
after this interrogation, authorities were able to confirm this very narrative through eyewitness testimony of an unlicensed homunculus, along with this subpoenaed footage from Magius's orb. Unfortunately, at the time, the guardsman was unaware of these developments.
You're right. That's
why we have it,
ridiculous.
Yeah. Good.
That accident didn't happen.
Great.
Because I think you did it on purpose.
Bruh.
What?
On the night in question, mere hours before the Thaumacism began, Oblivicus the Shadowmancer was seen in attendance at the bone spire of Galatrax the Defiler, where the two of them raised an undead horde. The horde then immediately bent to the will of the far greater nearby evil, Pentalagon. The investigator is now attempting to claim Magius was present during these events in order to cement him as a dark mage and establish a motive of intentionally freeing Pentalagon.
Nice try. You almost got me with the whole pervert and denial act.
Right.
You monster. I'll have you decapitated for this.
Oh no.
Knowing what we know now, the guardsman is mistaken. We'll have to keep watching to see if he's following a false lead, or actually employing an unorthodox approach to obtain a confession.
You raised the guy a horde, why wouldn't you banish your artifact to set him free?
Oh my god! I literally wasn't even at the spire that night! You could ask Oblivicus!
We already did.
He was at the top of the spire.
What? Oh my god! That's not true! He's literally lying! I totally flaked on those assholes!
To do what?
Now that he's got the wizard in a heightened state of emotion, the investigator will
is
attempt
so
an advanced
rough.
technique. This method
I
is
love this.
controversial for its high rate of false confessions. The method is as follows: sympathize with the suspect, provide relief, establish a rapport, abandon all previous steps, and repeatedly stab them with a spear.
Oh my god!
Why did you ditch your friend?
Okay, fine. I was doing the glory portal. I swear it was an accident. You were right the first time.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe. I swear. I just wanted to get my wand wet. I haven't felt the touch of a witch in ages. I was lonely. Okay, I was weak. What do you want me to say?
Huh?
Galatrax? Oblivious?
That's right, asshole.
He admitted
Yes, bitch.
This is William Punk.
Oh my God!
And we got it all on the orb.
No freaking way! Oh, what the shit?
Next time, don't ditch us, dildo.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
This was all just a prank.
Yep, yeah.
So none of it was real.
Oh no, this was all very real. We're definitely going to Prism.
What? Okay. Sorry about that.
Bruh.
Can I get you anything? Water, mana potion?
Damn.
Magius and Galatrax were sentenced to 2 years in prison and 1 million years in Prism. Oblivious was rushed to the nearest commune of clerics, but fell off the cart in transit and was cut in half by a wagon wheel. Bronwick Kettlecap was polymorphed into a chair. He is still a chair to this day.
Granting sentience to a flammable object. Casting Thunder Sphere in a residential hamlet. This one just says.
All right. So,
Dole?
I'll play the rest of it.
Oh, whoops. Got me there.
Gotta get the outtakes.
What did you steal?
But yeah, on that, who do
A
we run
Bible.
into? Is Horseradish up, or are you streaming these up? Laser?
I was trying to get I was trying to, but for some reason, Outer Worlds once again just doesn't want to open.
Go to
So.
youtube.com.
Horseradish it
Click
is
the link
then.
below to order now. Hurry!
Well, everyone, thank you for hanging out. It has been a blast. I had fun. It ended up being damn near a repeat of last week, but you know, we stay consistent. So I'm gonna go ahead and raid out into the Horseradish.
And Joe's still a complete massive fucking dumbass.
Gotta love it.
Stay winning
So,
over here.
I will catch all y'all next week. It's been a blast. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.